All right. There we go. There we go, everybody. Jamie, calm the crowd down, would you please? Jamie, my producer in the other room. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran. Talk radio for the 70% of us that are still normal. What do I mean by that? Every day since 2021, right about noon o'clock, we like to get together, normal folk, and talk about the world as it lays before us on this glorious day. It's a new year. Second week of the new year. And things, folks, let me tell you, things are not looking good. When I say we're the 70%, here's what I mean. And I mean it from the outset. Okay? Here you go. This is all you need to know about this show. I believe, and fucking Tucker Carlson and all these other clown shows, they're all now adopting this. But I have long believed, when I started this show 4 years ago, back in the guest house in beautiful Highland Park, Texas, we remember that. We now do the show from the Kelly Moore North Studios in beautiful south side of Chicago, Burbank to be exact. But when I started this show all these years ago as a daily talk radio alternative to what is being offered, I was a guy who worked for 30 years almost in major market talk radio as a host in both Chicago and Dallas. And I found myself in a position where I don't want to work for any of these stations. I don't want to work for any of these people. I told you about, a guy in New Orleans who was like, you can do this show. You're a big personality. We could really appreciate what you could contribute. And I said, well, I don't do this kind of talk radio, okay? I don't want to follow Rush Limbaugh and then be like, what Rush said is, I didn't want to do that. I need to be able to speak my own mind. And this AM talk radio programmer in America looked me dead in the eye and he said, you can fake it. And that's when I knew it was over. That's when I knew that honest to God discourse in this town was dead. When it was, you're going to have to fake. We like the personality. We like the way you sell things, but could you sell things with a more Rush Limbaugh-like bent? And I was like, no, I fucking can't. So I stopped doing professional talk radio and we launched this show for the 70%. Now, how do we get to that number of 70%? Well, I'll tell you, there's 15% of the people on the right that are just fucking gone, guys. They're gone forever. They're our uncles that we don't invite to Thanksgiving anymore, right? They're that woman that we work with who we saw the viral video of her getting thrown off an airplane. We're like, what? These are the 15% of people on the right who are gone. They can't handle it. They were told to wear masks and they just fucking freaked out, right? Then there's the 15% on the left. Don't act like it's only on the right. It's not. There's that other 15% on the left who are like building pipe bombs so that they can destroy their local Tesla dealership. These people, folks, are also gone. That's 15 and 15. That leaves us 70% in the middle. Some of us are conservative Republicans. Some of us are more progressive-leaning Democrats. But somehow we all stay fairly tethered to the middle. That's who this show is for. We take the issues as they come. We're not carrying water for any particular partisan ideology. I'm just a guy, and sometimes I'm wrong. But I think I'm right also sometimes. And that's why we do this show. So thank you all for gathering with us here. Let's say hi to the chat room. A robust, a vibrant chat room filled with gregarious individuals who have been here since the very beginning. I'd like to say hello to April's in the chat room. Leslie C is in the chat room. Barney is in the chat room. Barney says he pretends to be normal. Pretend harder, Barney. We could all probably pretend harder to be normal. I think that's Barney's here. We got Al. Let me make him a Taronda, of course, is here. All right, come on. Say hi in the chat room. How was your weekend? Your weekend was good? Gotta be honest, the big story, I guess, of the day, and this is a world that gives us a massive story every day. The big story of the day is the Jerome Powell situation. Apparently, our fearless leader, the Orange Goblin in charge, he's, I don't know, he's doing more crazy shit that like we've never seen before, and we're like, yeah! Because he's a man of Jesus. Did Trump go to church yesterday? Nah. There's a website that tracks Trump's attendance at church, and there's just a big zero on it. Big zero. He doesn't need to go to church. He's got that lady that's married to the weird guy that used to be in Journey, who will just show up and like jerk him off in the Oval Office, and then that's church for Trump. That's church. Anyway, Yeah, the fake Christian president, he didn't go to church again yesterday. I saw that tweet going around. Yes. So, hey, but whatever. He's, appointed by God. I think that's it. That's why he doesn't need to go to church, because he's appointed by God. God gives him a waiver. Religious people are so stupid. I'm sorry. It's Harry Potter. It's Star Wars. It's whatever. If this is the crutch that you need to navigate your life, God bless you. I begrudge no man what it takes to get through this burden of an existence. But don't go acting like, I got to see it that way. Okay? I pray to the Force and not the dark side. That's what I do. When I drop to my knees, I pray to Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's just as legitimate as praying to the Bible or Harry Potter or whatever you want. It's just what you believe, and that's good, because we live in a country where we allow you to believe whatever fucked up thing you want, just as long as it doesn't cause problems for the rest of us. The Jerome Powell story is so boring. I'm like, oh, what is this about now? The bottom line on the Jerome Powell story, we don't need to go into why Jeanine Pirro is doing it. And it's Jeanine Pirro. That's right. It's the drunk wine lady from Fox News Weekends from 2010. It's that lady who's now like in charge of shit. She's bringing these unprecedented charges against Jerome Powell, who is the chairman of the Federal Reserve, the independent body that sort of regulates, money. I don't know. This is smart people shit. I don't care about it. Here's what I care about. I care that there doesn't seem to be any legitimacy to these charges. And it's a precedent establishing situation where now suddenly, the president doesn't like what the Fed is doing. So the president's just going to trump up, no pun intended, charges against this guy and put him in jail. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to read from the article, and then we're going to riff, and I'm going to need you folks in the chat room who are more economically centered to maybe help me out on this. I know it's a big deal. I don't really care about it. Whatever. They'll just put somebody else in there, and shit will still be fucked up. So, we got protest talk. We've got protests all over America. I'm more interested in the protests going on in Iran. Why? Why is that? Why are you more interested in the protests going on in Iran? I don't know, because I think that they will probably be more effective than the protests going on here in America. I think the protests going on here in America are a bunch of 20-year-olds who are looking to meet somebody. So what are you doing this Saturday? Let's take to the streets. I think there's a lot of that shit going on. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the protests. We'll talk about protests that actually create change, like we're seeing in Iran. And protests that don't do anything. They don't do anything except get clicks for people who are live streaming from the scene. That's it. What else do we need to talk about? Golden Globes. I love my entertainment. We're going to talk movies. We're going to talk TV. We're going to go through the people who won. I'm going to tell you why it's all a sham. No, actually, I'm kind of okay with some of the results from last night's Golden Globes, which is, of course, the kickoff for the awards season there in Hollywood. I don't even know that we acknowledge award season anymore. We don't care. We don't care about Hollywood anymore. We don't. Anyway, we'll do Golden Globes. I didn't watch it. Can you believe that? I checked in on it, but, I'm a dude, and I'm a straight dude, and playoff football was on. So, sorry. I was more interested in watching the Chargers and the Patriots. Patriots are back, huh? Patriots are back. That can't feel good for anybody. It's not good. Certainly, I know one group of people who are not happy to see the Patriots back, and that is the Buffalo Bills. They are not happy. They shouldn't be, because the Patriots look legit. They look legit. Talk about football. We'll run it all down. We got another game today. I'll tell you how the Kelly method, less games. Here's the problem. Here's where the Kelly method, which is the method of picking games based on nothing more than the ferocity of the mascot, what mascot could take the other mascot. That's how we pick these games, using the Kelly method. Of course, that is the method utilized by my former and late great partner, Kelly Moore, the Kelly Moore Studios, ladies and gentlemen. She was incredibly effective picking NFL games for many years based on nothing more than, her awareness of what the mascots can do. It gets harder in the playoffs to pick games that way. It gets harder because there are less games, and it really does at the playoff level come down to well, which team is really good and which team is just, a wild card from a bad division who snuck in, right? It's a little bit more difficult. We'll recap what we did there this weekend with the Kelly method. And we got another game tonight. So we got a game tonight we got to cover as well. College football is set, Indiana and Miami. Probably touch on that a little bit. What else do we need to talk about? Hold on, let me go to my list because there's a lot of stuff happening today. A lot of stuff. We're going to spend a lot of time on NFL playoffs. And yeah, I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about my Bears. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about the Rams. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about the NFC because I honestly don't care about the AFC, but we will mention it. We will mention it, I promise. They can't even tell me we are less than a week away from the next round of playoffs, and they can't even tell me when my team is going to be playing. We'll have to get into all the scheduling. The scheduling is fucked up. I've got a really cool trailer of a new movie that we're going to watch. That's fun. And then I've, over the weekend, I always find a bunch of cool videos and stuff that we can watch, and we'll get into that. So got a whole bunch of stuff to get to today. Can't be a super long show, right? Can't be one of them 4-hour marathon Monday Pugs got nothing to do this afternoon shows because I got stuff to do today. Cheers to you. What else? Do I need to mention anything about the weekend? Well, you know what? Hey, let's say hi to some new people in the chat room as they pop up every so often. Hi, Jen. Jen is in the chat room. Jen says, oh my God, Natasha Lyonne was so cute with her comments. All I could think about was your impression. Now I got to find Natasha Lyonne. I didn't see her. Did she get up and was she like, hey, this is pretty great. I'm Natasha Lyonne. I'm kind of hot. But also, I talk like a guy you borrowed money from. So what are you telling me here? You're not going to be able to pay? The juice on this is going to kill you. I can't be chasing you every week. I'm Natasha Lyonne. I'm an actress. Anyway, I got to go check that out, I guess. Got to go check that out. CC's Wild Ass Pod? What is this? What is CC's Wild Ass Pod? Context clues are telling me that this is my boy CC, not formerly, I don't want to say that, the Sports Bras. What happened? CC, did you kill Keith? What's going on with the Sports Bras? What's CC's Wild Ass Pod? No, has that been announced? Sunday at noon? The Rams at Bears is Sunday at noon? Has that been announced? Because just before I signed on here, that wasn't announced. That's fucking stupid. Rams at Bears, they slotted in noon? That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. It's the number 2 and the number 3 market. That should be one of the nighttime primetime games. It's the Rams. It's Chicago and Los Angeles. I don't understand that. That's stupid. All right. CC says, no, we're still good. Oh, there you go. Okay, see, there you go. CC is now saying, yeah, Sunday, but no time, actually. Okay, yeah, well, that's the thing. We know it's Sunday. We know the Bears and the Rams are going to play Sunday in the second round in the NFC. But we don't know when. And we here in Chicago are like, well, come on. It's 6 days away. We got to make plans. We got to figure out, is it a 7 o'clock primetime Sunday night game between Chicago and Los Angeles, market 2 and market 3, which is what you would think the networks would want? Where we're gonna have to make plans. We're gonna go out to a bar or something. We're gonna get people together. We got to start doing that now, because we all have a friend who needs a week lead time, right? We all have the friend that we want to watch the game with, who you can't call the day before because he just doesn't want to do that. He's one of those people. But if you call him a week ahead of time and then check in, he'll show up. That's why we need to know. We need to get our invites out. All right. Thank you, Steve. We're trying to figure out what time. We still don't have time. The NFL's like, we don't know. CC has a new show. He's got a new show called CC's Wild Ass Pod is what I'm going with. It's a new show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sports Bras still on the weekend. All right. There you go. Hi, Adam. Adam's now in the chat room hanging out with us. The reason I don't know anything about the Jerome Powell situation and why we're kind of dragging our feet here is because I spent the better part of the morning arguing with people. I'm all about the algorithm, which is why I need you to like, follow, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, forward, whatever, man. Fucking help the algorithm, help the show in any way that you can. If you cannot economically help the show by dropping a tip, which is something that we like to encourage. As a matter of fact, I should probably put that little thing at the bottom so that people, should they be moved by some of the wonderful things I say, you can just look down at the bottom and you know how to support this show. This show runs independently on your gratuities, and it's been doing that for 4 years. So thank you so much. Totally forgot what I was saying. That happens a lot with this show. I lose my train of consciousness. Hold on. Where am I? I'm lost. Hola. Okay. Hola, Adam. Hola. There he goes. There's Adam. The reason I was late getting on here was because, and the reason I don't know anything about Jerome Powell, because I refused to study it, because I was arguing with people on other people's more popular threads, trying to help the algorithm. It says do that. It's like, if you want to build yours, then you got to go to people who already have it and just fucking comment. What I've been doing incorrectly is that when somebody triggers me, what I've been doing, because this is my own ego, because I want my people to see what my response is to it, which doesn't grow the algorithm. What I have been doing is just forwarding and subtweeting or quote tweeting, I guess is the way it's phrased now. So I would just quote tweet. And that doesn't do anything, because that's just me retweeting it to like 40 people who don't give a fuck about nothing. So what I've started doing is I'm still quote tweeting because I'm a narcissist, and my ego, no matter how much work I do on it, still has problems. So I still quote tweet, but now I'm also commenting within the thread of the more popular account, which over the past couple of days has really worked. I've got a bunch of new followers. So it's working. So anyway, I spent all morning fighting with people who I don't even know. Because apparently that's what you got to do. You know me, I don't want to fight. What I want to do is I want to tell you exactly how it's going to be, and then you're going to accept it. That's kind of how I would prefer the world to be. But, people want to fight. And I guess, if you want to get any kind of traction on these socials and build something like this, good thing we're just thinking about this 4 years into the show. Good thing. If you want to do all that stuff, you got to play these games, these stupid games. So I've been playing stupid games with stupid people. Yeah, I know I got you when when the response starts to devolve into, I will pray to Jesus for you. And I'm like, I got you. I'm in your fucking head. That's it. Get on your fucking knees and dedicate some time to think of me. Pray to the person that you think is talk to the person that you think is the most important person in your life. Talk to that person, Jesus, about me. I fucking own you. I'm just some rando on fucking Twitter, and you're going to drop to your knees and pray for me. I win. See that? That's crazy narcissism. That is what I just did there. Thank you to therapy. I understand now what it is that I'm doing. And once you understand what it is that you're doing, you can then control it and weaponize it. And that's what I've done. I've weaponized it. I've weaponized my own mental illness. CC about the new show, CC's Wild Ass Podcast. Follow it. CC's Wild Ass Podcast. He says, you inspired me, my friend, to branch out into more content. Oh, look at me, inspiring. Oh, look at me. Folks, if I can affect just one person with this show, if I could just make a difference in one person's life. I need to make a difference in like 1 million people's lives in order for this to be some sort of economically feasible proposition. It's currently not. Look at April. Look at April. Look at April. Smashing stereotypes. April, a woman, a fine woman, a good woman, knows more about football scheduling practices than I do. Look at her. She says the Bears game won't be announced until after tonight's game. Then we shall wait, I suppose. I guess I don't have anything else to do. I would just like to know. Now. All right, let's get into today's show. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me jump back into Twitter for a second. Let me see if anybody that I was fighting with, I'm still fighting with. Yeah, I am. Yeah, they're still biting. Yeah, the little trolls. The people who are praying for me, they're all still biting. All right. Let's talk about the big story. Again, we're going to run through Jerome Powell, Iran, street protests here in America, all that stuff that I teased you about, Golden Globes football. We got everything that you need to talk about today. We're going to get it out there. All right. So first and foremost, we got Jerome Powell. I got to be honest, before this morning, I don't know if Jerome Powell walked into the 7-Eleven while I'm buying rolling papers that I would recognize him. But okay, so here he is now. It's Jerome Powell, just another old man in a cheap suit. I do appreciate that. I appreciate politicians wearing sensible suits. And Jerome Powell, the guy in charge of all the money everywhere, seems to be one of those guys who wears a cheap off-the-rack suit, which is good. If your senator or congressman is wearing like a $5,000 suit, he doesn't even play the game right. I mean, if you're going to con people into thinking that you'll be a good representative for them, get your suits from Sears. Is Sears even still a thing? No. I'm talking about that Troy Nels down in Texas. He wears like a $10,000 pinstripe gangster suit. He's got a pinky ring, a gold watch. He wears the fucking cross around his neck, and he smokes giant cigars. Troy Nels. Yeah, you Texans did that. You Texans keep doing these fucking things. You elect these clowns, these obvious con men who don't give a fuck about you. They're just trying to get a position of power. You see these guys and they go, hey, it's all right for you to be a fucking piece of shit because I'm a piece of shit. And then you vote for them. And then you got guys like Troy Nels walking out on the steps of Congress to be gangbanged by a bunch of reporters, and he's wearing a $10,000 suit and smoking a fucking probably illegal cigar. And you people are all like, we're Texans. We rooted for him. We voted for him because he don't like the same things we don't like. Well, life and governance is more than just fucking things you have in common, like the shit you don't like. All right. Stop electing these obvious fucking con men. And look, I'll tell you this. I look around up here in Chicago. You don't want me getting involved. Oh, maybe you do. Because there are some people here that these libtards have elected that I don't understand either. I don't get it. We got a situation here in Chicago with the mayor. The mayor of Chicago is a complete clown show. I have no idea how this guy became mayor, but he did. And then it's like all of these other people, the chorus of goons that either support or contradict or, are against him. They're all fucking idiots too. Just make me president, you guys. Come on. Anyway, Jerome Powell's in the news because the president of the United States doesn't like him. That's the best I can. And Janine Pirro, one of the president's attack dogs, he's got these now. He puts these people in power and says, go get my enemies. And so this is one of them deals. Don't even know what this is about. Interest rates? I don't know. Let's let Jerome Powell explain it. This was a video that he put out over the weekend where he explains exactly what's going on with the Department of Justice serving him and members of his office with an indictment. So here we go. Hold on.
Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned, in part, a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings.
Hold on. Can I just interrupt for a minute? Are we doing this now? Because there's going to be somebody else in power. Pretty soon, we're going to do that. We're going to start running people through the justice system because we don't like what they say in front of Congress. Let's do it. If this is the precedent we're setting, I'm totally willing to sacrifice Jerome Powell. Totally willing. Let's sacrifice him. Fine. Bye, Jerome. Go to jail. As long as it sets the precedent that this is what we're doing now. Because let me tell you, there's been a lot of people over the last couple of years who have sat down in front of Congress and not behaved very well and said some things that were obviously lies. So if we're going after them, let's go. That's what we're doing. I'm all for it.
I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. but this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure.
Let me tell you something about the suit this guy's wearing, because I like the spy suits. I'm thinking it's tailored. I'm thinking it's tailored because of the way it fits on the shoulders. So this is probably a tailored suit. And looking at the material here, I think this is probably
This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I'm sorry. No, Noah, God damn it, Restream. This happens every fucking day. God damn it. And I try to fix it. I try to be better about it. Sorry, there was no audio there for I don't know how fucking long. Every fucking day. Just once. It only happens once. But it happens every day. Why? Why, after about 10 minutes of doing a live stream, does Restream suddenly go, we're going to disconnect your camera and we're going to mute your microphone, and you'll probably be on another page. So you won't know this is happening until you glance back at how fucked up we've just done this. I hate it. Anyway, lost fucking 15 people. 15 people gone. God damn it. Yeah, I know it's working now. Thank you, guys. All right, let's go back to it.
It's based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation. I have served at the Federal Reserve under 4 administrations, Republicans and Democrats alike. In every case, I have carried out my duties without political fear or favor, focused solely on our mandate of price stability and maximum employment. Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats. I will continue to do the job the Senate confirmed me to do, with integrity and a commitment to serving the American people. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. There is Jerome Powell's response to the charges against him. We'll see how this goes. I personally do not think it's going to go anywhere. I think that this is just another one of those things that are designed to create headlines that keep us from asking about the Epstein files. That's where we are. Everything is just a dupe. A dupe. I just combined the words dupe. Everything's a dupe with the hockey term deek. Everything's a deek. And I just created a new word. I think we're calling it a duke. It was a duke. Anyway, all of these things, these crazy things that we've never seen before, that is sure to get, Jake Tapper and, whoever all worked up on TV to tell us about another horrible thing that this administration has done. We need to just block out these horrible things. They come fast and furious, and I've been saying this since 2016. We cannot be distracted by every little thing, because when we're distracted by every little thing, it just feeds our need to move on to the next thing that sets the endorphins off. We need to focus on one thing. Just find one fucking thing and stay on it. This is nonsense. I think this whole Jerome Powell thing is nonsense, and it's going to fix itself. I mean, hell, half these charges that they bring against people go nowhere. Remember when they arrested Comey? Remember, Comey's been arrested, and it went nowhere. like, yeah, we're not going to pursue this. Turns out there's no merit to it. It's the same fucking thing. It's just, it's intimidation. The president of the United States is using the threat of prison and criminal charges to intimidate people that are doing. He thinks he's a king. And too many of you think that that's okay. Too many of you think it's perfectly all right for the leader of the United States of America to think of himself as a king. And that is really what my problem is. My problem has never been with Donald Trump. He's hysterical. He's hysterical. He's a clown. He's not a real person. He grew up with a silver spoon shitting in a golden toilet. This is not a real person. What he is a crafty person who understands that he knows how to work the dupes. And that's who we are. We're just a bunch of dupes to this guy. This guy has always thought of us as being less than him. We're the peasant class. He's not that. But somehow he loaded up his wagon. He rolled on down to fucking Hicksville, America, and he sold you all medicine out of the back of his not the first time. Oh, we have a term for it. The carpetbagging big city slicker who comes down and fucking sells medicine to the poor people, and they all think they're getting some miracle drug. Well, they're not. And that's what he did. And I thought we were long past that being a thing. But it turns out that there are gullible people all over this country. And I don't mean to just put it on the South, although that was his initial base. That fucking stupidity and gullibility has fucking spread from coast to coast. It's only sitting at about 36% of the country at this point, if you believe any of the numerous polls that show his steadily decreasing support base. But still, that's a problem. My problem ain't with him. He's funny. He's a clown. He's a showman. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to be president. He knows how to pretend to be president, and that's what he's doing. So my problem isn't with him. My problem is with you, the people who, for the past 10 years, have believed that this guy is a legitimate leader of the free world, and also you people who now recognize, because you're not stupid, you recognize that this is fucking crazy, and that what's happening to this country, what's happening to our Constitution, what's happening with the way that we do things and have done things and how we've become the greatest nation on earth, those are all going away because your guy is doing it different. And you know it's wrong, but you're too fucking ego-driven to admit to the people in your personal universe that you fucked up. That you got duped, that you bought a piece of shit car, that you got signed up for that timeshare, whatever it is. You can't fucking admit that you fucked up, and now we're here. We're going to take all of us down with us. Jesus Christ. You know who I like? I got to tell you who I like. I'm really liking this Thomas Massie. This Republican Christian conservative from Kentucky who's got balls the size of fucking bowling balls. This guy's out there going, yeah, I know, I'm supposed to be on this team, but this is nonsense. And he's calling the shit out now, most notably with the Epstein stuff, but he has now begun to branch out into other things. We need more people inside the right. We need more people inside the Republican Party to be like Thomas Massie. But unfortunately, they're all gutless cowards. So instead of standing up to the orange pumpkin in charge, what they do is they decide not to run for re-election. That's the Republican Party. That's why I will never be a fucking Republican. I'm also never going to be a Democrat, but that's for a whole different slew of reasons. All right. All right, looks like we're getting some of the audience back, which is good. All right, Jerome Powell, there you have it. He's going to jail. They're going to perp walk him. It's going to be great. All right. Iran, let's talk about Iran. Actually, let's talk about Iran and let's talk about the protests here in America over the weekend. Here's the radar. Okay. That's it. That's the blip. That's the blip that our protests did this weekend. Are you? That's it. That's all. I hope a lot of young people met their soulmates. I hope that a lot of people went out. Hey, man, what do you want to do today? Hey, it's Saturday. Let's go out and let's protest. Yeah, man, let's shout at fucking ICE guys. And then afterwards, yeah, Brian's having a party for the football games. Is Lisa going to be there? Yeah, she's going to be there. Oh, man, this is going to be great. That's what these crowds are. These crowds are fucking well-behaved nincompoops accomplishing absolutely nothing. Now, let's focus over. Let's see how they're doing it over in Iran. Let's see how people who really are trying to enact change in their country. Let's talk about people. Well, although being fair, the Iranians, if we're being fair, the Iranians about 40 years ago let everything fall apart and they sat in that shit for 40 years. So they've got 40 years of their version of MAGA fucking everything up in their country. Let's hope that it doesn't take us 40 years to finally start burning shit down, because that's what they're doing over there. Check this out. This is, remember, Iran was normal. Iran was a normal country until I turned about 10, 11 years old. Then the Islamic Revolution took hold and everything changed overnight. Everything changed. So when I tell you they were a theocracy, right? They were authoritarian, dictatorial theocracy. They were a Muslim theocracy. Everything, they had the pretense of elections with a president and stuff like that. But ultimately, if the Ayatollah, who is the supreme leader of this Muslim theocracy, didn't like anything political that was happening, he could just go, I am God, and he could change it. So that's nonsense. These are the people of Iran taking to the streets and burning the national mosque. Burning. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's what the people of Iran are doing. People in Minnesota, Los Angeles, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, wherever you want to say, Dallas, Houston, all of these cities who came out over the weekend, that ain't what they're doing. No. They're shouting obscenities at fucking $40,000 a year former security guards at the Walmart. That's what they're doing. It's all performative. It is all, how long are we going to, we're now in like the second decade of just every weekend there being some kind of march for change. Nothing changes. It just gets worse. This was the most interesting piece of tape that I saw over the weekend. I like this. This is another concerns the Iranian protests and how they've spread to other cities around the world. This comes to us from, this is London. This All right, watch this guy right here. You want to talk about a hero. This is a hero. This is an Iranian hero. This is, again, the Iranian embassy in London. This dude, just check him out. Watch what he does. This is badass. Look at him. Look at it. The British cops are like, hey, cheerio, you can't be doing that. I say, man, get down from there. He was in trouble here. At this point, he was in trouble. I'm like, he's not going to make it. He's going to fall right down into them cops. Hey, what is it with Iranian dudes wearing sweaters like that? It's the thing that I've noticed. This is like an Iranian dude sweater. You see, they wear a lot of really nice sweaters. I didn't know it was chilly in Iran. Apparently, well, this is London. But in Iran, they wear a lot of sweaters. And they all have like this kind of weird design. I mean, it's not weird. It's, like a Gap design from, the 1990s. But it is a unique kind of sweater that I think that a lot of Arab dudes wear. Look at him. It's a fucking hero right here. My ankle would give out. I'd fall. I'd smack my head on the ground. I'd be dead. That's the level of hero that you're looking at here. This guy goes to the gym. I'd be faced with, being, you can either, if you can do one push-up, you can save this country. I'd be like, oh, the country's fucked. How about on my knees? Can I do it on my knees? Now, can you do a pull-up? You're going to need to pull yourself up to the flag of the Iranian embassy in London. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be able to pull myself up. I would just hang there and then just fall into the cops. Like, all right, take me. I tried. Not this guy, though. Look at him. He's in shape. He can climb things. All right, so here's what's going on here. In his pocket, he has the flag of Iran. Not the flag of the Republic of Iran, that is, again, a Muslim religious theocracy. Nah, he's got the old Shah of Iran flag. Look at this guy. This is the Iranian embassy in London, and there ain't nobody stopping this. Understand what this means. This means that the current Iranian government, after the protesters took this embassy, the current Iranian government has no representation in England. It has been taken over by these protesters. Look at that. Legendary. This is what fighting for freedom looks like. There you go. He's got his hero moment. Nobody's trying to do anything. There are no police storming the embassy. I bet they can't. I bet there's something with the police. They're like, yeah, we can't just go in there. He's on the outside. We can't just go in, walk up the stairs, and then come through this little window here and arrest them. I don't know what's going on. All I know is this is amazing. This is, we could use some of this spirit here in America. And not the January 6th kind either. That's not what I'm talking about. Those were a bunch of butthurt pussies who didn't like election results, and so they decided that they weren't going to accept them. This is completely different than that. Hey, what is that? Doesn't it look like somebody's head got blown up there on the wall? Blood stain. All right, there you go. I think that's pretty cool. All right. You like that one. Very much like that one. Here, you know what? I mentioned that. I said, from when I was a little kid, my friend's mom, okay, so this is how I'll explain. My friend's mom had a boyfriend, and I was probably 8 or 9 years old or whatever. My friend's mom had a boyfriend, and I remember this boyfriend, I don't know what he did, but he spent time in Iran. And I remember him telling us story, and this is before the Islamic Revolution. I remember him, he was a normal guy, at least from the way I was probably 7, thinking about it, he seemed normal. But he told us these stories about how, in Iran back then, if you were a criminal and you were convicted of being a criminal, they would cut your fingers off. like they were brutal. The Shah did some brutal shit. But, they also had discotheques and women could drive, and, it wasn't a stoning offense to have sex out of marriage, So anyway, here, this is what Iran used to be like. This is what these people have heard about from their grandparents. This is what everyone who is young and who is causing or forcing change in Iran right now, they've heard stories from their grandparents and maybe even their parents, depending on how old they are, about what Iran used to be like. And this is just an example. For those of you millennials who don't remember what Iran was like in the 1970s before the Islamic Revolution and the Iran hostage crisis and all that, this is what Iran was. me wrong. The Shah of Iran was a brutal dictator who really abused his people and robbed the coffers of that country of billions and billions of dollars. But he was ours. He was ours, and they had discotheques, and you could buy blue jeans and rock and roll records, Are we really fighting to are we really supporting the reinstallation of a monarchy? That's probably what's going to happen here, because the Shah of Iran's son, who lives in Beverly Hills, has been tweeting like a mofo. He's like, I'm coming back. Who's that? That's Nixon. Look at Nixon in an open, sticking his head through the T-tops. That's what they were. If it was the 70s, these are T-tops. Telling you, man, Iranian women were hot. And I think that's one of the reasons that those fundamentalists decided they needed to cover all their women up, because they didn't want the rest of the world seeing what kind of smoke shows they're hiding there. I don't know what this music is either. What is this music? This is like, the music you'd hear if you were like on a cab ride in Egypt, right? You get into a cab and they're like, the guy's playing this. Do you like a disco music? You like it a disco? I'd also like to point out that Iranian women, or Persian women in general, when given the choice, they will dye their hair blonde. A lot of blondes haven't been able to dye their hair blonde in like 45 years. All right, there you go. Iran looks like a pretty good place to me. Iran of the 1970s, the mid-1970s, sure, there was a contingent of people, mostly students, who had rediscovered their Muslim faith and decided that this was the wrong way to go about it. And they were wrong. And it only took about 45 years for the people, after many false starts at revolution, to do what seemingly appears to be the end of what we're calling the Islamic Revolution. All right, good luck to them. Maddie says, Iran before the revolution was incredibly wealthy. I dated a Persian guy for a long time. His whole family was stupid wealthy. Yeah, they're all here in America now. They are look, this is, it's very similar to the Philippines. Here in the Chicago area growing up, we had a very large Persian community and also a very large Filipino community. When in the case of the Filipino community, just to give you the same thing, when the Marcos government fell, see, you understand, the Marcos government was supported by the United States. I know we kind of painted the picture, they were horrible and all this stuff. That was us washing our hands of it when the Marcos regime fell. But the Marcos regime was put in place by the United States. And there were a lot of people who supported the Marcos regime who made a lot of money. And there were also a lot of people in the country of the Philippines who didn't get any money. But as is the case with most of these kinds of puppet governments, the people who are in the first ring make a lot of money. And all of those Filipinos, as soon as Aquino came in, all of those Filipinos came to America. And they all had money. They all bought homes. So I went to school with my town turned out to be like a little Filipino community. And I went to school with all of these people, and they all came from money. And it's the very same thing with the Persians. Any Persians that you know here in America, I went to high school with a chick who was Iranian. Yeah, her dad's rich. Okay. The people who fled, the people who had the money to put their family on a plane and go to America, and then you go through the process and get lawyers and get homes and all that stuff. Those are the people with money. So the Persians that we have here, they were people who most likely were, well, I guess there have been some. No, I don't know. Like, how do you get here? Like, if like Iran, could you just go, hey, It's Iran. It's the year 2005, and I want to move to America. I don't think they let you do that. So yeah, I'm going to say that most of the American Persian population, look, any population of people from a region or a nation that is going through some shit, any of those people that are here in America, whether it's, Cubans or Venezuelans in Florida, or Filipinos, or, after the Marcos fall, or Persians in America, they are all the ones who could scrape together the money for a plane ticket to come here. Okay. So I don't know what the whole point of that is. Anyway, Iran used to be really nice, and now it's not. Now it's not, but maybe it'll be nice again. Not enough reverb in that music, says Ross. Yeah. It's weird. Just weird, generic, like Middle Eastern disco music. You like disco? Hey, Johnny Blue Jean, disco. I don't know. It's just what I think they think of America. Let's see here. Oh, so we also had some protests here in America over the weekend. And again, it was all feckless, and it was all just, let's hold hands and let's just show everybody what victims we are. That's, basically what the American protest is at this point. Not saying I want to see Burger Kings burn, but I would like to see something come from these protests that makes people change, or what is the point of protest? These people, I'm arguing with people over the weekend. Why are you going home? You know who's not going home? The people in Iran, they're not going home. There's 1 million people on the street at noon on a Saturday. There's 1 million people on the street at 3 a.m. Sunday morning. There's 1 million people on the street. They aren't going home. Here in America, we go home. We go home. Like, we're going to protest for 2 hours. And then we're going to go home because, we've got other things to do. And this isn't the most important thing in our life. I mean, there's a football game on tonight. So we're going to go home. And then, guys, you want to meet back here next Saturday? Okay. That's how we protest. It's just a bunch of people who are out there going, look at me, I care. And if you cared, you would be here too. Is that Jimmy? Is Jimmy? Who's that he's talking to? I thought he was still dating Karen. That's the fucking American protester. That kind of bullshit. Look at me. Take a picture. I got my selfie stick. Let me put this on Instagram so people are like, I care. I care. I'm a better American. Fecklessness. That's the word of 2026 for the opposition in this country. Feckless. Fox News, though, I wanted to share this with you. I thought this was great. This was, you know me, I'm Mr. Working Man. I'm Mr. Middle of the country. People are getting shit on at every fucking turn. That's who I represent. That's who I like to think that I'm a part of. Let me show you an example of what we get force-fed and what we've been force-fed by the, I'm not going to call it lamestream or liberal media, because it ain't a liberal media. It ain't a liberal media. It's a propagandized and agendized media, and it depends on where you pick and choose to get your media from, whether or not it's going to be liberal or fucking far right. But the liberal media, that was like a 90s thing. And by the way, the reason that we all know the term liberal media is because the conservative media was everywhere. And they just put that out. And so we're all like, every piece of media I hear talks about the liberal media. Well, then I'm guessing that the media isn't liberal, if that's what you're getting. Because, stop it. It's all a deek. It's all a deek and a dupe. Here, this was on Fox News over the weekend. I thought this was pretty cool. Here's what I said. I tweeted this. I said, 3 people here. There is one reasonable and rational person here. And then there are 2 people who are bought and paid for by people with special interests, presumably billionaires with special interests. We're going to show you 3 people on Fox News. You tell me if you can determine which one is the real person and which one is bought and paid for by Elon Musk and the Murdochs. Okay? Here we go. Watch this from Fox News over the weekend. I thought this was terrific.
So what's funny to me is, when is violence? When is protest? When is this all acceptable?
But isn't that the same though? Where's the protest against the regime that's killing people in the street right now? I mean, I don't see anybody at Columbia.
Well, they're doing those today, and it's called the ICE protests.
Well, but they talking about Iran at the ICE protest?
No, I think they're talking about the regime that's shooting people in the face. I mean, I
How about that? Did you see how the Fox News suits tried to change the narrative because they didn't like what the guest said, and the guest was just smarter than both of them? Well, I mean, these people on the streets in Minneapolis and all across the country, I mean, are they even discussing what's happening in Iran? And the response was, no. They're talking about the regime. They're discussing the regime that is shooting them in the fucking face. But Fox wants to discredit the Americans who are out there standing up to this kind of bullshit militaristic oppression. Fox wants to demonize them because they should be thinking about the people of... It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And that dude got fucking owned. Watch this one more time. I want to watch it one more time. Sorry. One more time. One more time, watch this. I'll play the whole thing. I just stopped it at the burn, at the sick fucking burn that Fox News guy walked right into. At the Columbia protests, are they even talking about Iran? No, fucker. They're talking about the reason they're protesting at Columbia. Two things at once, you fucking drone. Here we go. One more time.
Today, and it's called the so what's funny to me is, when is violence? When is protest? When is this all acceptable?
But isn't that the same though? Where's the protest against the regime that's killing people in the street right now? I mean, I don't see.
All right, so he's talking about the protests against ICE, and then the Fox News guy wants to discredit the people who are protesting ICE because they're not protesting against the regime in Iran. Why the fuck would people in a community in Minneapolis give a shit about what's happening in Iran when somebody, one of their neighbors, just got shot in the face? It's so disingenuous. And yet, if you're a stupid person and you like Fox and you think that people who wear suits are more credible than people who don't, you're fucking buying it.
Anybody at Columbia?
Well, there is protest. When is this all acceptable?
But isn't that the same though? Where's the protest against the regime that's killing people in the street right now? I mean, I don't see anybody at Columbia.
Well, they're doing those today, and it's called the ICE protests.
Well, but they talking about Iran at the ICE protest?
No, I think they're talking about the regime that's shooting people in the face. I mean, I think it's a very American idea to not want police forces to be able to shoot Americans indiscriminately. And the idea that J.D. Vance says is that they should have absolute...
Look at this guy right here. Can we just on this guy? Do you think this guy has ever made a woman come? Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. This guy has never made a woman climax.
Immunity. You know, I thought this guy was a hillbilly. He had a book, Hillbilly Elegy. And I can tell you, hillbilly values, at least from where I'm from in Appalachia, are that the government ought not be able to have absolute immunity when they shoot you in the face. But maybe we came from a different Appalachia.
Oh, man. I love that guy. I don't know who that guy is. Well, I do know who he is. He turns out that he's a former communications director for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I don't care. I'm following him. I'm following him now, and I'm listening to what he has to say because he is fucking rational. But what about the regime in Iran? At the ICE protests, are they talking about the regime in Iran? No, fuckstick. They're talking about the regime here that's shooting them in the face. The fuck does that have to do with anything, you duplicitous moron? All right. I thought that was great. Oh, how about more? You want to talk about cracks in the armor, cracks in the foundation of MAGA and all of this bullshit? One of your heroes is Breaking Bad on all of this. Actually, two of them are. We've covered the Joe Rogan stuff. Tim Dillon is back in the news again. Tim Dillon went on a rant against ICE and how they shot someone in the fucking face. So here you go. Cracks in the MAGA foundation.
Speaking of ICE, and who the hell are they? We don't even know. These are people that like answered an ad on Craigslist. I mean, these people, who is joining ICE? I mean, these people are so shot. The people who are joining ICE are so shot. You know, they don't have anything going on. These are people who like a mole threw out because they couldn't do like security at a mall. They I don't know what they did, but they're out now. They maybe attacked a child or something. So I don't know who's, they got ICE in there. Then you have ICE.
All right, there you have it. There's Tim Dillon, one of the heroes of the MAGA right. Now, he's, just to be clear, he's an absolute middling comic and a obvious piece of shit as a human being who jumped on something in order to, help his own ticket sales and name recognition among a group of people who, seem to be untapped. And that's what he did. And now with a lot of these guys, a lot of these middling liberal comics, which is what they all are. Stop it with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a fucking Hollywood liberal. He just threw a tantrum and watched his numbers grow and then decided to lean into it. Same with Tim Dillon. Same with Ari Shaffir, a guy who I know who is about as liberal as they come, but somehow for a period of time saw his numbers jump when he went MAGA. All of these fucking guys are now turning on MAGA. So I don't know what that means for the midterms. Actually, I do know what it means for the midterms, and it ain't good for MAGA. Not good at all. And again, go for that indictment against Powell. We need you to keep setting these precedents so that when the other side, when the opposition rises up and puts all you motherfuckers in handcuffs, they're going to be able to go, yeah, well, you guys did it first, so here we are. All right, let's see here. Here's a big story. So if you're like me, you've probably been waiting for that $2,000 check that Trump a few months ago promised we were all going to get. Remember that? Don't worry about the tariffs. You're all going to get $2,000. Remember that? Yeah, and you all went, he's the best. And you gave him, in the moment, you gave him the credit for doing that. Even though he had no intention of ever actually giving us checks, but he said it because in the moment he needed something that people were going to go, I love him because I'm stupid and he's giving us $2,000. How many times is this motherfucker going to promise you idiots something before you guys start going, well, we're going to need to see it first? Well, here we are, another example. Trump and his promised checks. He was asked about it today because it has been a few months since he promised to give us checks. I'm going to give you all money. Yeah, okay. Where's our fucking money, dude? Here you go. President Trump being asked about these mythical checks that he promised.
You promised $2,000 checks to Americans based off of your tariff revenues. When can
I did do that? When did I do that?
I did. I promise a lot of things. I'm in real estate. We talk out of our ass for like 95% of the shit we say. Did I promise checks? You guys remembered that. Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
You promised $2,000 checks to Americans based off of your tariff revenues. When can
I did do that? When did I do that?
Well, I mean, you're
Yeah, I'm thinking, I did 1776 for the military.
I did the military thing. Yeah, I did it for the military, but because I got to keep them on my side when people take to the streets. Fuck you. You promised us all $2,000 checks. And I know, because do you know what a $2,000 check would do for me? A $2,000 check runs this show for 3 months. That's what a $2,000 check does. So yeah, I've been waiting.
When will those Americans get those checks?
Well, I am going to. The tariff money is so substantial that's coming in that I'll be able to do 2,000 sometime, I would say, toward the end of the year.
Totally making that up. Sometimes, I mean, it's January 12th. So I would think maybe the last week of December next year, when you guys have all totally forgotten about, don't let him forget this. Ask him this every fucking time you get an opportunity to ask him. He has just pushed the goalpost all the way to next year. We were supposed to get it by Christmas this year. That was the thing. He was like, by the end of the year this year, these tariffs I'm going to give you money. He's fucking lying again. It doesn't even bother me anymore. It's like, but now, remember, if you can just wait, by the end of next year, everybody's going to get their $2,000. I mean, really. I mean, here's what I don't get. My guy Barney and Byron are big MAGA guys, and I love them. They're my friends. They're like any number of my friends. But I guess because I don't know Byron and Barney the same way, are you guys still totally dug in on this? Or do you at least at this point recognize that the dude is problematic? All right? Did I say that? Did I promise 2,000? I don't remember promising. Are you okay with that? It can't just be about the fact that he hates blue-haired lesbians from Hollywood. Can it? Please, guys. You're two of the smarter people that I have regular correspondence with, and I just don't get it. How are you so dug in on this guy? On this obvious con? All right. Let's see here. What else do we have? Guys, here we go. Do I want to do this? I got some video here. You want to watch an old loudmouth white man get his ass beat on the street? All right, why not? That's fun. This is fun. I like this. We'll watch this video. So this is apparently a bunch of wealthy, and they look like wealthy white guys because quarter zips, gold chain. Not wealthy. Look, what is wealthy, right? This guy probably owned a couple of tire stores for 50 years, and now he's retired and he's living a nice life. That's what I say. This was at, I believe, in New York. This was at a ICE protest in New York. It's old dude, old white man, and his old white man friends. They're very empowered, right? Because they're white people. I'm a white guy. I remember the 60s and 70s. So, they still have that mentality and kind of walk around like that. I love this video. This video is so great, but I do want to talk about the motivation and why they felt they could do this and how we needed to change. So here are a bunch of just fucking awful MAGA white people deciding that they're going to talk shit to the protesters who, ironically, are talking shit to ICE agents. Okay, so let's see how this works out.
ICE! Let's go, ICE! God bless Trump! God bless Trump!
All right, so you get it? So these incredibly confident and not a fear in the world about what's going to happen to them because liberal protesters are pussies. Remember, I told you, the feckless liberal pussy protester, right? Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't one of them. Nah, Kyle Rittenhouse showed up with guns. Yeah, no. But the left, we're liberal pussy protesters, and people like this, they feel really comfortable saying whatever they want because, this guy thinks he could kick every liberal protester's ass. Because again, he probably came of age in the 60s and 70s, and that was a much different time. Especially if you're a loudmouth white guy. Look at this guy. This is somebody's grandpa. He's out there. Here's what I like about this guy. This guy's got I think he's probably a restaurant or bar owner with a little bit of money because look at how he's dressed. He's dressed good. He's dressed good, man. That's a good outfit. The shoes are matching the shirt that's underneath the vest. He looks like a total douchebag, don't get me wrong, but he looks good. He's dressed good. Not like this guy wearing bad blue jeans and a fucking 40-year-old members only jacket or whatever the hell he's got going on. But no, this guy Loudmouth, the guy who we need to focus on, he looks good.
Fuck you! Ride your bike, you fucking fag!
Ride your bike, you fucking fag! See, why is he's no repercussion. He knows that the liberal pussies will not fucking do anything. He say whatever he wants.
Go get a job!
Okay, so this kid, love him, the new generation. I love the new generation. The kid with the skateboard walks by him and knocks his glasses off his face. I wish he'd have made stronger contact, but okay, I'll take the glasses. Now, this kid knocks the glasses off his face, and this guy starts chasing after him. Let's watch what happens.
Loser, fucking loser!
And the kid's going, fucking loser. Like the kid is just taunting him. And this is ego. This is this guy's ego going, I'm going to chase him and then I'm going to stomp his head. Like he's totally out of control. Because this kid just dared to knock his glasses off his face. Oh, no, that's it. Hold on, let's keep going. Let's watch this. Watch him. Oh, Grandpa's down. Did you see how he slid? That's road rash. That is. He doesn't give up. Because MAGA never gives up. Here it comes. People are chasing him, mocking him. Look at this guy. Hold on. There you go. Hero with an American flag fucking trips him and curbs his old ass. Right? Don't fucking chase. Keep your mouth shut. If you don't like the protest that's going on, keep your fucking mouth shut. You antagonized, then you lost your cool, and now you're getting clowned at an epic level. Look at him. He's up. He's up. He keeps getting up. He needs a standing 8 count at this point, but he keeps getting up. Let's see. Look at him. He's fucked up too. Ha ha. Glasses are broken. You can't fucking drive home now. Your glasses are broken. Your eyes are fucked up. Why? Because you couldn't control your ego. You couldn't walk by a bunch of Americans who were protesting like the feckless idiots that they are and not keep your big fucking mouth shut. You ran your mouth. Your ego got the best of you, and now you are a fool. Look at him. Now he's going to throw punches. Because now he's going, let's fight. Yeah, let's fight, dude. Let's fight. He's still going for it. This guy better back down because he doesn't have 1/8 the fury that his buddy has. This guy's about to be comatose. Look at me, puts his hand up. I'm an old man. I'm afraid. I have a little bit more control of my ego and narcissism than my friend. My friend is probably going to end up in the emergency room. But hey, I don't want any more of your smoke.
You guys are going to get your ass beat if you don't quit. I'm serious.
Beat his ass.
Yeah, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Yeah, get your buddy. Get your fucking buddy. Get him. Somebody just talk this dude, break this car.
Hey, you ran into me. What the fuck? Yeah, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
He's a tough guy. Crack him with the fucking skateboard. This kid, crack him with the skateboard, disappear. The world is not CSI, okay? This kid will disappear into the shadows. Nobody will ever find him. And he'll be a fucking hero because somebody needs to shut loudmouths down. You need to shut the fuck up. This guy needs to learn his lesson. Why did this guy think that he could pursue? This guy thought he could pursue because liberals and protesters, they're all pussies who don't do anything. That's why he thought. That's why he had the courage to pursue. I'll tell you, if this was a Black Lives Matter protest, I promise you this guy would not have pursued.
Trip his ass. Trip his ass. Fuck you.
Trip his ass. But now he's shoving people. Now he deserves anything that he gets now. Look at, he's all fucked up.
Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Look at that. That is beautiful. That's the face of MAGA, motherfuckers, right there.
Dude, guys, what are you doing? Get out of here. They're violent right now.
The Bernie bro, they're going to kill you. The Bernie bro. When the Bernie bro goes dark, because Bernie bros are pussies, but this guy's actually got some size. And... Hey, look at School Shooter. School Shooter is showing up in his trench coat mafia outfit, being all glam. This is a collection of the absolute dumbest people in America. Here you go. Here you go.
I don't know where they are.
He wants his glasses. Well, don't, you know. You were walking down the street. You poked the protesters with your fuck you and fuck you. You did that. And then guess what? Somebody took your glasses and now you're all beat up and you're humiliated and gone viral. Look at him. I love it. I love it when loudmouths get their fucking lights turned out. Yeah, there you go. Maddie's got it. The guy in the vest is giving retired gunnery sergeant vibes. Retired being the optimal word that he should have fucking leaned into. But no, he still thought that he could do that because his ego and all of that bullshit. I love that video. I love that video because I hate that man. Not that man specifically. I don't know who that man is. I'm pretty sure by his behavior that I would really fucking hate him. But I hate what that man represents. The fucking loudmouth who doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit that you're MAGA. These people are not MAGA. Get your fucking lunch with your buddies and move along. Do you have the right in America to do what you did? Yeah, absolutely do. Should you fucking do that? No. See, the difference between having the right to do something and whether or not you ought to do something, very different choices. You have the right to do almost anything in this country, liberty and freedom and all that stuff, but you probably shouldn't, right? You should probably be like, oh, that guy had the right to talk shit. That guy had the right to do all of that stuff. Now, did the kid have the right to knock his glasses off his face and then make him chase and fall and all of that stuff? Did that kid have the right to do that? No, that's a crime. That's crime. He physically assaulted that old man. Ha! What happens next? Okay. Constructs. These laws are all fucking constructs. Yeah, that's how it works. I got the right. I'm completely indemnified by my Bill of Rights in the Constitution, and I can do and say whatever I want. That's what this whole protest is about. Nobody is protected by our Constitution and our Bill of Rights anymore. So I don't know why you think that you are now suddenly absolved of being fucking punched in the face for doing something that you heretofore thought was totally within your rights as an American. No, shut your mouth. It is a problem, though, that class of person thinks that they are somehow protected in, standing up or confronting the liberal protesters, because it is true. The liberal protesters, as I've been saying, are feckless. They're feckless pussies. Nothing is going to change. Again, it's all about Instagram accounts and look at me and I'm better than you because I'm here today. Stop it. Yeah, Ross knows. Ross says probably a regular at Twin Peaks. Hell, that guy probably owns a couple Twin Peaks. He invested in that concept early. All right. Some sad news. Some sad news to report here. Here we go. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me just hold on. Let's do this. Hold on, guys. I'm just making sure of something. You got to check these things every day. Hold on. Just wanted to make sure. Give me a second. I know you don't know what I'm doing, but give me a second. What the hell? There we go. All right, here we go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it has taken 10 days into the new year of 2026 for us to get to a Wayne Osmond Prize winner. A Wayne Osmond Prize winner. What is the Wayne Osmond Prize? Well, I'm obsessed with deaths, and I'm certainly obsessed with celebrity deaths, as I believe they die in threes. The Death Trilogy, it's a real thing, and I like to sort of, track them all year. For instance, 2025 gave us 31 complete death trilogies, celebrity death trilogies, 31 of them. I got them all written down. One day they'll make a book or not. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this. I've got shit that I'm like, that could be a book. The Wayne Osmond Prize is awarded to the first celebrity who dies in any given new year. Now, we named this prize last year. This will be the first Wayne Osmond Prize winner. Why do we call it the Wayne Osmond Prize? Because Wayne Osmond died on January 1st in the midnight hour. He died he was like the first. Who was Wayne Osmond? That's a problem. Wayne Osmond was a member of the Osmond family. If you were a Gen Xer, you remember Wayne Osmond. You remember the Osmonds. Certainly Donnie and Marie were the top ones, but like the Jacksons, we still know who Jermaine and Tito was. So Wayne Osmond died first last year. He was the first celebrity, and because he died on the 1st of January, wasting no time in getting the Celebrity Death Trilogy rolling for 2025, we awarded the prize, the Wayne Osmond Prize, to the first celebrity who dies 10 days into 2026 before we finally got a celebrity who can truly launch the 2026 Death Trilogy. And that is, of course, founding member of the Grateful Dead, Bob Weir. Bob Weir passed away on January the 10th. That was Saturday. It was reported yesterday. It says here, Grateful Dead founding member and guitarist Bob Weir. I'm not a deadhead, so I'm just going to read this. If you're a deadhead, you mean something to you. Here's what I know. I am not a deadhead, not at all. What songs? They got like, I can't even name a Dead song. Touch of Grey. That was like a hit. That was like one of their last hits, like in the 80s or something. I don't know. Whatever. Not my thing. Jam bands, not my thing, man. Sorry. I like the opposite of jam bands. I like power pop. I like 3.5 minutes, verse, chorus, verse, get in, get out. No fucking stupid guitar solos or drum solos or long vocal drawn out bullshit. I like power pop. Green Day is a good example of power pop, although they're not my favorite. Weezer, another good example. Point is this. It's the opposite of what the Grateful Dead did. Grateful Dead, Fish, Dave Matthews. They played for 4.5 hours. Yeah, but they only played 2 songs in those 4.5 hours. What the fuck are we doing here? I listened to a guy play a maraca for 23 minutes. What are we doing? Guitarist Bob Weir has died at 78 years old. Bob Weir, the guitarist and founding member of the Grateful Dead, has died. This according to a statement posted to his official Instagram account. According to the post, Weir passed away while surrounded by loved ones due to an underlying lung issue after he beat cancer. Here, we'll get some pictures of Bob Weir. He's pretty cool, man. I mean, I don't know. Jerry Garcia was like, it was Jerry and Bob, right? Weren't they like the 2 big ones? Jerry Garcia and Bob Weir. Here's Bob Weir. There he is. Is he the Keith to Jerry's Mick? I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Let's go through the TMZ story. What else does it say here? It says Weir was apparently diagnosed with cancer over the summer, shortly before performing at the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco for 3 shows, celebrating the Grateful Dead's 60th anniversary. Family goes on to say Bob often spoke of the Grateful Dead's lasting legacy, adding he imagined the songs would live on for hundreds of years. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. Like, no, I'm sorry. I don't think that 200 years from now, people are going to remember the Grateful Dead. I think their music was too self-indulgent. It wasn't catchy enough. There's nothing that's going to carry it through the time after time. We don't. I'm trying to think. That's such an interesting thing for performers and artists in the modern to say. Hundreds of years from now, they'll remember my contribution. Is that really true? Like, I guess when we're talking about media arts, right? Movies, TV, that's all relatively new. So it hasn't been around, that art form, the way music, recorded music and stuff, that hasn't been around for hundreds of years. So I guess we don't know. But are there any songs from like 1450 that we still sing today? Happy Birthday? When was that written? When was Happy Birthday written? I don't know. Anyway, I don't think people are going to remember the Grateful Dead for a number of reasons. 1, their music wasn't that great. 2, their music isn't catchy. There's nothing that it's meandering, kind of hippie. We're all on acid and we forgot that we've been playing this song for 25 minutes. It's that kind of thing. But they seemed like nice people. I will say that. The Grateful Dead, they seemed like nice people. And Bob Weir seemed like a nice person, so I've got no... let's see. What else? Anything else on Bob Weir? When Weir was just 16 years old, he famously followed the sound of a banjo into a Palo Alto, California music store where he found Jerry Garcia strumming the instrument. I just don't understand the popularity of the Grateful Dead. I never did. The Grateful Dead were never popular. Like in the 60s and the 70s, when the Grateful Dead, when they were all 23, 24 years old, they were never popular. They weren't like Janis Joplin or Jimi Hendrix or the Byrds or any of these bands from that era that were popular and had hit songs on the radio. That was never the Grateful Dead. Bill Graham, who was a huge concert promoter and is really responsible for the San Francisco sound, is probably most responsible for the Grateful Dead because Bill Graham made the Grateful Dead the house band at the Fillmore in San Francisco. And being the house band just meant that when other bands who were promoted to be playing there, like, hey, Jimi Hendrix tonight, when Jimi Hendrix wasn't playing, the house band would come out. They weren't like, they became the house band. And that's, I don't know. So anyway, they weren't even that big in the 60s and 70s. They became legendary, but not through album sales, more through just stories and touring and live shows and all that stuff. And then throughout the 1970s, they were dead. The Grateful Dead in 1978 was nothing. Like, yes, they would still tour, and they had these burgeoning group of followers, cult members really, called Deadheads, but it wasn't crazy. It wasn't crazy until they came back with a hit song in the mid-80s, Touch of Grey. They all of a sudden had a hit song on MTV, and MTV was playing it, and MTV was playing it with a tongue-in-cheek, because, you know, MTV's playing nothing but Adam Ant and, you know, U2 and shit like that. And then all of a sudden MTV's like, hey, here's some oldsters. This is a song your parents, this is a band your parents know, but they made a video and we've only got 40 videos in 1984. So we're going to promote the Grateful Dead. And that's what happened. Touch of Grey became a big MTV hit. And all of a sudden the Grateful Dead had their first hit song ever. The first hit ever. And that started a whole new thing with stupid Gen Xers, people my age, people I went to high school with, people I went to college with. All of a sudden, we're like, yeah, man, we're really embracing the Grateful Dead. We're going to follow the Grateful Dead. And it became a thing with like a second generation. And the second generation of Deadhead followers was bigger than the first generation by 100-fold. And they became a phenomenon, a pop culture phenomenon. Not because of any kind of sustained popularity on the music charts or anything, but just because people are weird. It's always been my take. Although I'll tell you, one of the first things that I ever did in radio was cover the death of Jerry Garcia. I remember that. I remember Jerry Garcia the morning he died. That was a big deal. I was a producer on The Loop in Chicago, the morning show, and walked in and they said, hey, what are we going to do for the Jerry Garcia thing today? And I said, I don't know. And they said, well, why don't you just go to, like, you know, they just sent me somewhere. They sent me somewhere where apparently I found out there was a gathering. And anyway, I played his last show in Tinley Park. The last Grateful Dead show was a show that I was actually at and a part of. I didn't go to the show. Oh, I should probably explain. So I lived in a town that had an amphitheater. I lived in a town that had one of these, like, you know, 30,000 outdoor, it's where like Lollapaloozas coming. It's where the big concerts are. That was in my hometown of Tinley Park. At the time I was producing morning radio, but also delivering pizzas. And me and I think it was Tim, my friend Tim, we came up with this plan that after we were done delivering pizzas, the Dead were in town. I should say this, the Dead were in town. Jerry Garcia would be dead in a week, but this is like the last concert that they did. They did like a 3-night thing in Tinley Park, and all of their Deadheads were camping all over, and people were everywhere. It was crazy. So we were delivering pizzas, and when we got off pizza, we said to the guy, we said, hey, give us, we want 5 pizzas. We bought 5 pizzas, me and Tim. And we loaded up our trunk with 5 pizzas, and then we drove to where the Deadhead campground was, and we sold slices of deep dish Chicago pizza for $10 a slice. Oh, we made money. Made money off the, hey man, we work in a barter system here, man. Would you like some beads? We're like, fuck off. Who wants pizza? $10. That's what we were like. So I was at that show. I didn't go into the show. I was like with them. And if I'm being honest, we had fun that night. Though we made some friends and there's nice people. I mean, we had fun that night selling pizza to them. But it was just a couple of days later when Jerry Garcia died. And now here we are all these years later, and Bob Weir. It says, who's left in the Grateful Dead? Can you name another member? I could name that guy Pigpen, but only because his name was Pigpen and he died like 20 years ago. But I know there was a guy named Pigpen. Let's see. Is there any information about the rest of the band? Weir and Garcia played music together all night after meeting and eventually decided to form the group, which would later be known as the Grateful Dead. They, along with, here we go, Ron Pigpen McKernan, Ron Pigpen McKernan, Phil Lesh. Is Phil Lesh still alive? Because I think he would be the big one that's still alive. And Bill Kreutzmann. were the founding 5 members of the Grateful Dead. Weir spent the next 3 decades, besides a brief period in late 1968 when he and McKernan were left off the band's roster. What? He was fired in 68? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Bob Weir is dead. He is the first celebrity to die in the year 2026. We will be presenting the Wayne Osmond Award, the Wayne Osmond Prize, to his widow. Jamie, get on that. Get Bob Weir's widow. We got a Wayne Osmond First Dead Celebrity of the Year prize to give to her. All right, hold on. CC's Wild Ass Pod. Hold on, we've got something. Here we go. CC says, I have a coworker who was a deadhead and told me stories on how he always hitchhiked to all their concerts in the 70s. He is literally sitting next to me and said he almost called in because of this. Okay, first of all, he didn't almost call in. Okay, there's no way to call in. Although if he's with CC, there is a way to call in. I guess there is. I guess CC does have my phone number. What does he want to call it? He's fine. I got no hatred towards the deadhead. I'm just saying that it's stupid and that I wouldn't do it because I don't do stupid things. But I don't have a problem with people who do stupid things other than the obvious that I think they're stupider than I am. What's that? Come here, Uncle John's band. That's such a bad song. Come on, man. That's like a fucking nursery rhyme song. Ugh. Anyway. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person for liking the Grateful Dead. It just means you have no taste in music. That's all. We all have our things, right? I'm a terrible bowler. I'll accept that. I can't bowl worth shit. We all have our things. Some people just have bad taste in music. What else do we have here? We need to, guys, I need to take a quick break. It is, we've been on the air for an hour and a half. I need to go pee because I'm an old man with a prostate the size of a peanut. Or is it a prostate the size of a grapefruit? I don't know. Is it gooder or better? Is it gooder or worse? Gooder or better? Whatever. I need to take a quick break, so we're going to be right back. I would like to encourage each and every one of you to help this show out if you can. Drop a little tip. Yes, that's right. We have no executive producer today because we received no tips on Friday's show. That one sucks. So if you can help out the show, that'd be great. Help us out. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go drain the lizard, as some people might say. Be right back. right, here we go. There we go. All right. Still battling a cold. Just had to blow my nose and do all of that stuff. And I apologize. All right, let's see here. Anything happening in the chat that I need to address? No, we're fine. I missed a lot of good stuff from you guys in the chat room. Let's see. Where are we? All right. We've given the Wayne Osmond Award out, so we're good. Excuse me. Oh, I want to show you this. So, here's another video that we'll watch before we get into, we're going to watch some videos here. Let's watch a couple of videos. Here, first I want to show you this. This comes to us from, Dallas. I've met this guy, Ed Young. We all know Young. He's like the head of that crazy big giant mega church in Dallas. You know, the one that all the pretentious assholes belong to, and they justify the worst fucking inclinations and fucking instincts. They justify it all because Jesus. Yeah, well, let's see what's going on. What's going on in church in Dallas?
Wow. What a ride. I've never been on a roller coaster like this before.
This is what people need in order to love their Christ. Dude, if that's how you church, you ain't Christian. I'm sorry. That is like some kind of Six Flags fucking weekend. Dude, they are obviously trying to entertain you in order to get you to support their fucking church or mission. I'm sorry, it's not a mission. This guy, Ed Young's probably got a 10-car garage that he needs you to fill with sports cars and luxury items. If that's how you church, you are not Christian. I am so sick and fucking tired of Christians putting themselves on a pedestal like they are somehow greater interpreters of the word of Christ than the rest of us when this is how they present that shit. You remember Jesus, Temple of the Mount, when he came out and he bungee jumped onto the stage? It was awesome. And he was on fire. He had like the pyrotechnic strapped to his back. It was so fucking cool. I will heal the sick. It was great. Come on, aren't you embarrassed by that? No, you're not. Because the people who attend that are stupid. They are stupid people who, it's not that they truly believe in Christianity. It's that they believe in Christianity in the same way that they know water is wet. See, like water is wet. Water is wet. I know that water is wet because my entire life I put my hands in, it's wet. Their entire lives, they have been told that Jesus is real and that this is what you're a part of. They have never really thought about it. I mean, think about it. Most Christians that you know, from their very first memory, is, laying in the bassinet and having some giant old moon-faced woman lean over and be like, Jesus loves you, from the very beginning. Children are not allowed to actually look at the world and form their own thing. No, they're indoctrinated into this bizarre-ass religion. And then they keep going because they do shit like that. That's not a real faith in Christ. That's not a real understanding in who Christ was. Christ the teacher, Christ the philosopher, Christ the man. This is where I diverge from Christians. This is why I say I'm a Jesuit, but not a Christian. I believe that Jesus was probably the most foundational and important human being who has ever lived. I mean, my God, we still talk about him today. Name another famous dude from that era, not immediately related to Jesus. You can't do it. So, pretty important human. So I guess the question goes, well, did he even really exist? Yeah, it's clear that somebody named Jesus exists, okay? My disconnect with the crazy Christians is that I don't believe he was magic. I don't believe that he was somebody who came down from outer space and made people, see when they were blind. That's nonsense, okay? That's the kind of shit you tell a 7-year-old and they believe it and they carry it into their 50s. Jesus was probably the best human being who ever lived. And his message, if you understand his message, if you were, educated a Catholic or a Jesuit or something like that, you might really be drilled down on what his message was. And his message was about being good to one another. That ain't fucking roller coasters, pyrotechnics, and rock bands, okay? Jesus Christ. I hated going to church. And there's a reason I don't go to church anymore, because even Catholic church is a bit nonsense to me. Why did I hate going to church? Because it was boring. Because we didn't have fucking roller coasters or dudes strumming guitars. What we had was giant marble cathedrals with, these incredibly intimidating torture porn scenes depicted all over. Oh yeah, that's the thing about Catholic church. I don't know if you've ever been inside a real authentic Catholic church, but they always have Jesus carrying the cross depicted in scenes somewhere in, the church. And it is fucking pornography. It is absolute pornography. Of course, pornography being something that lacks completely artistic merit and does nothing but provoke. That's the definition, or at least one of the definitions of pornography. That shit is pornography. There is no artistic fucking... The only reason that shit is up there in Catholic churches is so that we all go, I should give more money because he really went through some stuff. It's a manipulation. It's bullshit. But even with that torture porn that adorns every Catholic church I've ever been in, even with the torture porn, it's still boring as fuck. Still boring. Ed Young, he's coming out in roller coasters with pyrotechnics and then introducing the Reformed Creed, to play for. It's not church, okay? You want to know what church is? Some bell ringing from some distant location that you have no idea where it is. And on the 5th day, the Lord Jesus came to us, and he said, why art thou against the will of my Father? Why aren't you with my Father? All rise. Alleluia. Alleluia. Hallelujah. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. We welcome you here today in the word of our Lord with open arms and with hope for tomorrow. Get your wallets out because we're passing the baskets. That's fucking Catholic Church. It's the worst. It is. There are no roller coasters. There's no Reformed Creed. All right. You don't have fucking Vice President J.D. Vance showing up to stir the crowd. Church is supposed to be drudgery. Church is supposed to be a penance. You're supposed to hate going there, but know you're supposed to because this is how you prove your love to him. It ain't supposed to be fun. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. What's this guy going to do? A stand-up set? Is he going to do some comedy for us here at church?
How fun is that?
Oh, this guy's as gay as they come. I can already tell. Gaydar. This guy's gay.
It's not every Sunday you get to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, somebody make some noise. All campuses.
There you go. Ed Young's church in Dallas filled with nothing but closeted homosexuals and well-known degenerates and reprobates. There you are. Enjoy. All right, now let me show you a couple of people who probably attend a church like that. Can I show you these people? All right. We're going to talk about this. I love this video. This video was going around. I call it Weird Christian Couple. Let's just watch it and then, I'll let you react, but I think you're going to enjoy it. This is weird Christian couple. They probably go to a place like Ed Young's church there in Dallas. Probably give a sizable percentage of their income, but that's okay because they're all rich, stupid white people anyway. Here you go. Let's watch this couple. You tell me. Let's count the red flags, shall we? How many red flags do you count in this relationship? Let's listen.
It's like, I just want to let you know, I don't want to introduce the L word or any kissing until like it develops. One of the many nights we were out enjoying time together. We just drove into the mountains for a ways. All
right. So just for context, you understand that she is talking about her amazing relationship with her husband and how they decided that they weren't even going to kiss until their marriage, right? They were, well, let alone the having of the sex. And by the way, she's kind of hot. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, there ain't no dude that's going to be like, I'm not even going to kiss you till I get married. I mean, you're hot, but you ain't that hot. Your boobs ain't big enough for me to just wait until the wedding night. Are you kidding me? Anyway, here we go. Watch again. That's the context you need.
It's like, I just want to let you know, I don't want to introduce the L word or any kissing until like it develops. One of the many nights we were out enjoying time together. We just drove into the mountains for a ways. We parked the car and Zach was just like, this is really random. And this is not something I've ever thought about, but I just this unction from the Holy Spirit to just ask you what you'd think about saving our first kiss.
All right. So you following me here? You following me here? All right. Zach. Her boyfriend at the time, they're married now and they're very happy. He drove her, this chick, who's by all measure a fucking hot chick. He drove her to like, some secluded location and he wanted to have a conversation with her. And the conversation that he laid on her was, I don't think that we should even kiss until our wedding. Instead of being a normal guy who's like, can you maybe at least, give me a little handy here? We're out here among the redwoods. Can you maybe, that's not, Jesus wouldn't mind that. No, that's what a normal guy would be like. No, her man is like, look, I just don't think that we should even kiss until our marriage. She's so cute. She is a good looking woman. I've got thoughts on her too, but let's let this play out. Okay. All right. So we're caught up. This beautiful young Christian couple are out on their first date, and she's explaining about how magical their love is because on their first date, he turned and he said, I don't even want to kiss you till our wedding night, which is a weird thing to say on a first date, but that's okay.
Like, this is really random, and this is not something I've ever thought about, but I just this unction from the Holy Spirit to just ask you what you'd think about saving our first kiss for our wedding day. Like, if that comes, like, not kissing till our wedding day. And I was just, like, shocked in my seat because it's something that I had wanted, but I didn't want it to be a legalistic thing. I didn't want it to be a rule.
She's okay with it. She's okay with it, which proves to me that she ain't a normal chick either. Because normal chicks don't want that. Normal chicks don't want your first kiss with your husband to be on the fuck. So there's something going on with her too. I mean, I think we can guess what's going on with old Zach, but I think there's something going on with her too.
We had to follow because of X, Y, and Z. I wanted him to initiate it. I wanted the guy to initiate it because it was in his heart. Because if he was going to be the one leading, he would have to have that desire. The fact that he asked, first of all, and then it like wasn't something he thought of.
Yeah, it wasn't like something serious like, hey, like, let's save our first kiss. It was like, what do you think of this?
It was also
I mean, it wasn't like asking. It was,
so like, I don't know why.
We gotta see old Zach again. Zach doesn't want to make out with her. Zach doesn't want a tug job from her among the redwoods there in their little secluded first date. Zach wants to do what he thinks the Lord would want them to do, which is to save their first kiss until the last fucking moment when it's totally unavoidable.
It like wasn't something he thought of.
Yeah, it wasn't like something serious like, hey, like, let's save our first kiss. It was like, what do you think of this?
It was also like, I don't know why this keeps coming to mind, but I can't get it out of my mind. And I was like, well, that's actually something that I've kind of wanted, but I've always wanted the guy to initiate it. And Zach was like, okay.
I was like, okay, so, I'll think on it a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to think about it. She's like, I've just raised, I need the guy to make the first move. So I need him to make, and he's like, all right, I'll think about it. Come on, man. These are really sad people. These two people both deserve as much empathy or compassion for their situation as we can muster. Because I'm going to tell you about their situation as soon as we finish up with the clip.
I think we took a few days because we were like, if we're going to make this commitment, we need to, take a few days, make sure we're ready to make this commitment, make sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
Know that we have the discipline too. Like that's
yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you got the discipline to avoid trying to have sex with her, Zach. I'm pretty sure that discipline was woven into you at birth. All right, there you have it. So that's Zach. He's a good Christian couple. Talking about how their marriage is, why their marriage is so perfect and better than yours, because they're special and Jesus and all of that. All right, let's call it out. That's a gay couple. That is a self-loathing Christian gay couple. That is a lesbian who has found her fucking gay boyfriend, and they are going to just ride this Christian nonsense out. Why? Because they're friends. But guess what's going to happen? What's going to happen in about 10, 15 years? There's going to be a scandal. Now, I don't know if these people will be in any kind of position within their community where a scandal will make anything less than a little ripple in their immediate universe, but whatever. There's going to be a scandal. He's going to be caught with somebody. There's going to be rumors that he's running around with the bartender from the whatever, from the gay bar in town, the one gay bar in town. His car is going to be photographed in the parking lot of the gay bar, and some, competing ministry from the next town over is going to... She's a lesbian, right? I think it's obvious with him. My gaydar is, your gaydar doesn't even have to go off because he's doing it. I just, I thought that we could maybe just talk about it a little bit and just, before we rush into, kissing with tongues and all of that. I just felt that it would be more, in Jesus's interest that we just, we wait until the last possible moment for me to kiss her and make our love real. That's him. He's obvious. She's a lesbian. She is a fucking hardcore lesbian who is stuck. First of all, she's self-loathing and cannot fucking admit to herself that these urges are real and have been with her whole life. But also, the way she dresses tells me that she's a lesbian, because she's obviously, if she was, all right, I'm going to say some things. That's going to get my lesbian friends pissed at me. Real lesbians do not have the instinctive inclination towards fashion or towards a desire to look like you are fashionable. Lesbian women, they're wide watch bands, faded blue jeans, and chain wallets. That's what fucking real lesbians are, and God love them. This woman is not allowed to be a real lesbian. She grew up in probably a traditional white Christian household. So she's got to be pretty, and she's got to be the cheerleader, and she's got to be prim and proper. Now, you can either be obviously super sexy, which is a way that a lot of them go, or you can go her direction, which is she's so pretty. If she would just try harder. She has the fashion sense of a lesbian who is trying to look like a traditional hot blonde. That's what I read. That's my read on her. She is a lesbian. There you go. Anyway, she's a lesbian. She's a lesbian and he's gay, and they are just going to ignore the reality of their life, and they're going to keep this fucking con going. Now here's where I shock you all. And if it works for them, it's none of our fucking business. But I didn't shoot that video and then release it on Twitter, so I'm going to comment on it. Whatever. Hey, if they're happy, they're happy. Golden Globe winners. Let's do this really quick. Okay. So I did the predictions on Friday. It took way longer than it should have. It was a nightmare because who knew? Well, I knew there were a lot of stupid categories. All right. So let's run through this real quick. The Golden Globes happened last night. I didn't get a chance to watch any of it. Because, I'm only like 1/3 gay man, because I'm pretty sure that I think that the only people who watch the Golden Globes anymore are women and middle-aged women, not even young women, but like middle-aged women and gay men. And there was football on, so I just, I had to watch football. Caught a little bit of Nikki Glaser. She was the host. It's all right, right? I mean, I don't know. I saw a funny pre-produced sketch that they did about podcasts. About it's all we have. I think the tagline was podcasts. It's all we have now. Like it was sort of, balancing the death of the movie theater and how we used to love the experience of going to a movie theater, but it was juxtaposed against the reality of today, which is we don't go to movie theaters. We sit in our car and listen to podcasts. And I thought that was pretty funny and pretty clever. Tagline, podcasts. It's what we have now. All right. So I didn't see any of the great speeches. I'm sure I'll see all that today. I'll be going around. But we do have the winners, so let's talk about the winners. Let's see. In the category of Best Drama Motion Picture, that Hamnet thing went. Hamnet. Again, that's the story of the writing of Hamlet, right? Do I have that right? It's not Hamlet, the Shakespeare play. It's about Shakespeare and what he was doing when he was writing Hamlet. And I guess he had a son named Hamnet, so that's what this is. The winner for Best Actress in a Drama Film was Jessie Buckley. I predicted that one. I told you I didn't even see this movie, but I know that Jessie Buckley is fucking like Meryl Streep. She's young. She hasn't done many things, but let me tell you, when they open the floodgates on giving awards to actresses, Jessie Buckley, she's on deck. She's ready to win a whole bunch of awards. She's a tremendous actress. Let's see here. Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy Film. Right? Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy Film. That went to Timothée Chalamet. For Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme is a ping pong movie. The world has been clamoring for a ping pong movie. Not since Forrest Gump has the ping pong world been this excited about a film. Marty Supreme stars Timothée Chalamet. It's about ping pong. That doesn't sound great, does it? That doesn't sound great, but I don't know. Everybody says it's great. I haven't seen it. Have not seen it. Let's see here. Paul Thomas Anderson, the greatest working filmmaker today. Paul Thomas Anderson won for screenplay, motion picture screenplay, won for One Battle After Another, which I still believe is the best film of the year. Cinematic and box office achievement. This is a movie that, this is a category that they came up with for movies that, are popcorn movies that sell a lot of tickets. And that's pretty much the only criteria for this, other than I guess it's got to be watchable and sell a lot of tickets. Sinners wins the award for cinematic and box office achievement. They got something called the Carol Burnett Award. Carol Burnett's cool. I don't know what the Carol Burnett Award is, but it went to Sarah Jessica Parker. Actress in a drama TV series. Here's a good one. I mean, I don't think I picked her. I think I went with somebody else, but this is a good one. I'm not going to complain about it. Pluribus, Rhea Seehorn wins for actress in a drama TV series. The best drama TV series was judged to be The Pit. Not going to watch it. I don't care how good you say The Pit is. Again, I watched like 15 seasons of ER. I don't need to see its retarded little brother. No interest in The Pit. Actress in a musical or comedy TV series. That's going to go to Gene Smart, the national treasure, Gene Smart. Male actor in a supporting role on a television series. That went to someone named Owen Cooper for Adolescence. I told you I'm not watching Adolescence. You know me, I don't do sad no more. I don't know how many more years I got on this planet. I'm not going to watch your stupid movie about slavery. Not going to do it. Not going to watch your stupid movie about the Nazis and the Jews in the concentration camps. I'm not going to fucking do it. And I'm not going to watch any more movies where kids get brutalized, beat up, bullied, or whatever. I'm just not going to do it. Start a movie, Pugs. It's a miniseries. Yeah, I'm not going to stretch that experience out over 8 nights. Thank you very much. So anyway, everyone says Adolescence is good. It holds zero interest for me just because I understand. And I love Stephen Graham. And as it turns out, I fucking love Erin Doherty. Erin Doherty won for her work in Adolescence. And I guess I didn't know her name, but as soon as she got up on stage, I'm like, yeah, that chick. That chick's awesome. So we'll get to that in a minute. Owen Cooper, congratulations. I guess that was the little kid. He won for male actor in a supporting role for Adolescence. Best TV show, musical or comedy. This is the one that I think is the most important. This is the one that's always, in my opinion, the show that I like. the, best TV show drama. I don't know. Very rarely do I agree with that. But here's the category. This is the category that has everything from sitcoms to things like Curb Your Enthusiasm to whatever. They call the category, Best Musical or Comedy TV Series. And the right one won. The Studio. The Studio on Apple TV with Seth Rogen. I believe I told you people after watching the first episode, you know how I watched the first episode of The Studio and I picked up the phone and I left a message for Dr. Schwartz, who's one of my TV watching buddies. And I told him that if he doesn't immediately start watching this series, that he is really, really doing himself a disservice. I was on the Studio bandwagon from the very beginning. It's the best show on TV. In my opinion, it's the best 30-minute show on TV. Now, you have to be interested in Hollywood. You have to be interested in the behind the scenes of how movies get made and what these people who run studios are really like. I'll tell you this. If you watched Entourage and you enjoyed the storylines that concerned Ari and the deal making and all that, that's what The Studio is. Studio is all of that. And here's the cool thing about The Studio. Apparently everybody in Hollywood loves this takedown of Hollywood so much that it's like just littered with A-list stars doing cameos, playing themselves. The Studio, it won for Best Musical or Comedy TV Series. Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, Ike Barinholtz. I know I'm missing other people. It's terrific. Watch it. Ike Barinholtz is so funny. His character goes through such a change, though. Like in the first episode, it's almost like they wanted Ike Barinholtz, who plays a vice president at this film company. He's an up-and-comer. They wanted Ike Barinholtz to be portrayed as this one thing in the first episode. But then in the other episodes as they come, they start to make him more of a lead character. They start to make him likable because they obviously started shooting this and went, okay, he's a good character. We need to make him likable now, because the first episode, he's doing lines of blow before meetings and, he's out of control. Anyway, it's really good. I think Ike Barinholtz is really good at it too. So there you go, The Studio. Ricky Gervais won for Best Stand-Up Comedy Special. Seth Rogen won for Best Actor in a Television Series, Musical or Comedy. That, of course, for The Studio. Rose Byrne, who I predicted, she won for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Well, if I had a dream, I'd marry you. I just love Rose Byrne. And when she gets up and she starts talking with her accent, I just love her accent. I love her accent. I love her talent. She's so beautiful. And have you ever seen Rose Byrne in an interview? She is an absolute delight. So good for Rose Byrne. She's all Irish, and she's like real culturally Irish, except for the fact that she's from Australia. But that's okay. I'm real culturally Irish, and I'm from America, so that happens. The Irish diaspora knows no bounds. We're all over. Sinners won for original score. Paul Thomas Anderson, once again, won for Best Director of a Motion Picture. He won for One Battle After Another. Good for him. Paul Thomas Anderson absolutely deserves to win the Oscar. I think he's going to, obviously he's going to be nominated for One Battle After Another, but I think he's going to win an Oscar. What else? Noah Wyle won for Best Actor in a Drama TV Series for The Pit. The Best Miniseries or TV or Film. A miniseries is just a new series that debuts on Netflix or something that they're not committed to making a season 2 of. So they call it a miniseries. Adolescence is the winner there. And Best Female Actor in a Supporting Role on Television. Supporting Female Actor on Television. Erin Doherty. Erin Doherty won for Adolescence. Now, again, I haven't seen Adolescence, and I guess I didn't recognize the name Erin Doherty right away, but I did happen to see her win. One of the things that I was checking out when I was flipping over from the football game to the Golden Globes, I saw her win in her category. And when she got up, I went, oh my God. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, Erin Doherty. Oh, now I know. Erin Doherty is one of my favorite new young British actresses. If you watch The Crown, okay, she was in the television series The Crown, the thing about the British family. She played Princess Anne. She played Queen Elizabeth's only daughter, Anne, Charles's sister, Anne. She played Anne, and she was great. Like, just in a role that you like, how interesting can they make Princess Anne? And they were able to make her interesting. And I'm like, that actress, that's where I first noticed her. Then there's the TV show that she stars on currently, 10,000 Blows. I told you about that. That's a show that you can find on, I don't know where it is, MGM or Paramount. But she plays this historic female gangster. It's a TV series made by the same people who made Peaky Blinders. So it's set in like the 1890s, and she leads a band of female pickpockets. Anyway, Erin Doherty's amazing. She's really good. She's a really good little actress. All right. What else? Michelle Williams won for actress in a miniseries motion picture. She was in something called Dying for Sex. And the best podcast, the Golden Globe for best podcast, which it's a thing now. Of course, it wouldn't go to, Phil Johnson, the anonymous guy who's got 2 million listeners. No, Amy Poehler. Amy Poehler, that's right. Every podcast that was nominated was either a podcast that's got billionaires backing it or was helmed by major celebrities. Well done. Way to really take the category of best podcast seriously. You went with the fucking low-hanging fruit. I'm surprised you didn't nominate Rogan. Cowards. Anyway, Amy Poehler won. There you go. That's Golden Globes. We don't need any more. Can I show you something? I want to show you this since we're on the topic of the Golden Globes, because this is a trailer that was released over the weekend. We're going to watch a trailer for a new movie. We're going to watch a trailer for a new movie that I may see in theaters. Oh, I know that is quite the endorsement from me, because I don't see movies in theaters, but I might see this one in theaters. Why? Because first of all, it stars my favorite actor, my absolute favorite. There's not even anyone who's close in the modern acting world. He's the best. He's the best in everything. Actually, I say not even close, but now I'm like, well, Walton Goggins is close. Walton Goggins is good in everything too, and he's close. But you know what Walton Goggins isn't? Walton Goggins isn't Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell. Sam mother effing Rockwell, man. This is the greatest act. I'm telling you, this guy is lights out in everything he does, and nobody creates more interesting characters than Sam Rockwell. This is a new film starring Sam Rockwell. It's called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Just the title alone sounds awesome. So here's the premise of this. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Sam Rockwell plays a guy from like a couple hundred years in the future who is a time traveler, and he comes back to our time, and he's come back to our time because I think the premise is that they have identified in the future a diner at a very specific point in time that has the absolute perfect collection of people eating in the diner that could save the world if they needed it. So Sam Rockwell comes back, I guess, to this diner that, there happens to be a nuclear physicist having lunch. There happens to be someone this. Anyway, again, remember in the future, they're like, at this moment in time, if we had just gotten everybody in this room together, we could have saved the world. So that's the premise. So Sam Rockwell comes back. He's a time traveler. And apparently he's trying to save the world by using this core group of people who gathered randomly at this diner on this day in 2025 or whatever it is. Again, the movie is called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Let's watch it. Here it is. Okay. This looks really amazing. And again, Sam Rockwell is the time traveler. He's the best male actor working today.
There's some shit that's about to come down that I can't prepare you for. It's gonna try to give you everything you ever wanted. But in the end, it will all be a lie. Are any of you even listening to me?
I traveled here today to tell you that things do not go well for you in the future.
But tonight we got a shot. There's a perfect configuration of people in this diner that can save humanity.
What happens if we fail?
I
I really don't like to say it out loud. It's kind of a morale killer. Somewhere inside of you, you know the way things are, the way we're heading, the way people are with each other. You know the world's going to shit. What means the damn is you people choosing to come along for this ride because you see the writing on the wall and you're ready to wake up and do something about it.
There is a chance you will die tonight.
Those are real bullets!
But I truly believe you could be the group that saves the fucking world.
This is real.
Pretty much, yeah.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Your entire lives have been building to this night.
It's gonna be okay. Or it's not. I don't know.
Let's go! Oh, does that look like a good movie? Right? Look, I'll see anything that Sam Rockwell does. Anything that Sam Rockwell does. I've seen everything that he's done since Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. I think that's the first time I went, oh, whoa. Who is this young actor? Anyway, that's terrific. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. How perfect is Sam Rockwell for that role? 1, he's the best dramatic actor in Hollywood. 2, he's the funniest comedic actor in Hollywood. 3, he's the best overall actor in Hollywood. I think that's his problem. I think they don't know what to do with him. I think they're like, he's got, also got leading man good looks. If he needs to be a leading man, he can absolutely do a rom-com thing. But also super gifted at comedy. Anyway, also super fucking good at heavy emotional drama. He's the best. Sam Rockwell's the best. We love him. You damn right, Rob. Rob agrees with me on Sam Rockwell. That guy's the best. Joel. I'm sorry. Let me get to the chat room. Why am I having difficulty in the chat room? I hate. Tom's in the chat room. Tom says more Sam Rockwell talk, which I'm always willing to engage in. The Way Back is one of my favorite films, partly because of Sam Rockwell. The Way Back. Top 10 all-time favorite movie of mine. The Way Back. And Joel, and you know this, Joel, I would imagine that a good 9 out of 10 of you listening to this right now have never heard of The Way Back, starring Sam Rockwell, starring Steve Carell, starring Toni Collette, starring, who else is in that? It is such a good movie. It is so great. And here's what I love about The Way Back. Sam Rockwell plays a character who I think they said, hey, Sam, have you ever seen Meatballs? And he said, you mean the old Bill Murray camp movie? Yeah. Do you think you could just do an imitation of Bill Murray throughout this entire film and just kind of bring that character for a modern audience? And Sam Rockwell said, yep. That's what it is. The Way Back is Meatballs. It's about a guy who runs a water park. The Way Back is Meatballs. And he is doing Bill Murray, and it's not a lesser Sam Rockwell thing. To me, I look at it and I'm like, that just shows how great he is, because he is trying to create Bill Murray. Anyway, he's terrific. Mrs. Paul Thomas Anderson is Sam Rockwell's girlfriend. I don't know what you're talking about. Sam Rockwell's married to Leslie Bibb. I don't know what you're talking about. Was Leslie Bibb involved with Paul Thomas Anderson before Sam Rockwell? I don't know, Adam. But Sam Rockwell's married to Leslie Bibb. Oh, you know what? Maybe they're not married. They've just been together forever. So, hold on. Let me see. Sam Rockwell married to Leslie Bibb? No, they are not married. Very good, Adam. Very good. Sam Rockwell and Leslie Bibb are not married, though they have been in a committed long-term relationship since 2007. That is, yeah, they're married. But I know they don't have the paperwork. But no, Adam, I stand corrected. Good job. All right, let's move on. What else do we have here? I gotta pee again. God damn it, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta pee again real quick. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, back. Sorry about that. Maddie's seen it. As I was saying, Maddie's seen the way back. Guys, I'm not kidding about that movie. If you've never heard of it or whatever, just look at the cast. Movies don't get promoted for whatever reason. A lot of times, like really great movies suddenly will pop up on like, Netflix or something. You'd be like, how come I've never heard about this? Well, it could have anything to do with any number of things. Like most commonly, the president of the studio that greenlit that film got fired about 2 weeks before its release. So that's why it got shelved and you never heard of it. But, things like that happen. Yeah, Adam, Maya Rudolph is also in the way back. And there you go. There's the Paul Thomas Anderson. I got you. You know what, Adam? I had forgotten that Maya Rudolph was in the way back because she plays kind of a small role. She's one of the people who works at the water park. But yeah, very good. All right, let's see. What else do we have? All right, let's get rid of everybody. Let's get rid of everybody that doesn't want to hear me just fucking rant about football for the next 20 minutes, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk football now, okay? It's time for us to get into what drives America, what really keeps us together. This is probably the only thing. Football, our love of football. And I know this because, hold on. Hold on, camera's got to go dark. Why does this keep happening? Hold on, I got to disconnect this. All right, I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm just... Is that steady? Is that steady? All right. Maddie in the chat room, she says, by the way, I caught begonia this weekend. Absolutely bizarre. I expect nothing less from Yorgos Mupalapalop. Yorgos Latimos says, I don't even know how to say it. He's a hell of a director, man. That's one of them new European directors who's making really cool things. I told you about Begonia. I love Begonia. But Begonia, Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, that's pretty much it There's a half-wit who's in it, who's, I don't know if he's a real half-wit or an actor who's really good at playing a half-wit, but I completely bought the idea that the third person in this film is a half-wit. Begonia is the story of a couple of QAnon weirdos who convinced themselves that a female Elon Musk type is actually an alien representative from another race of people. And so they kidnap her, Jesse Plemons and his half-wit friend. Brother, maybe cousin, I don't know. Jesse Plemons and his little half-wit friend. They kidnap this female Elon Musk type, and they demand that she deliver them to her starship and give him a meeting with the emperor of all. It's crazy QAnon stuff. And let me tell you something, folks. I don't know if you've seen this movie or not, but I can't wait. There's going to come a point in time where I can actually talk about this movie, and I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil nothing. So, but oh man, is this a fun movie. Begonia is a fun movie. I love it. I think Emma Stone is just the peaches. I just think she's amazing. Everything Emma Stone does, I'm for. She's good. I like her. You know what I like most about Emma Stone? She's not like overtly like sexual hot, you know, like it seems like there's a lot of actresses in Hollywood who would just have Sydney Sweeney. Like everything, you know, everything is like, well, I'm sexy or beautiful first. Emma Stone is sexy. Emma Stone is beautiful, but that's not like the first thing you look at. It's not like the first thing you get from her. She's got personality and charm. She's just a much bigger individual than whatever Hollywood is trying to box her in as. She's terrific, that Emma Stone. Let's hear it for her. She's no Chastain. You know, I love Chastain. She's my favorite female actress at the moment. Woo. But I like Emma Stone too. I also like Jennifer Lawrence. I like Amy Adams. I got a whole list. Maybe we'll do a list at some point. Begonia is great. Guys, highly recommend Begonia. Also, I should tell you this. I finished Mrs. Maisel over the weekend. I found time over the weekend to get the final season of Mrs. Maisel. And when I say finished it, I'd already seen the whole series. I watched the whole series through as it aired. But I really remember enjoying the shit out of the fifth season, the final season of Mrs. Maisel. So I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I decided I'm gonna watch season 5 of Mrs. Maisel again. And I just ripped through it. I just love season 5 of Mrs. Maisel. I mean, the whole series is very good, but season 5 gives you everything. You don't have to watch the first 4 seasons of Mrs. Maisel. You could just start with season 5 because it shows you where she began, but also it takes you to where she ends up, which is really the payoff of watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's about somebody loosely based and formed on Joan Rivers. And we all know that Joan Rivers became a huge global star. So when we're watching the first 4 seasons, we're waiting for Midge Maisel to make it. And then in the final season, we get to see they flash forward all the way to the 90s. I just love it. I love it. Who's the chick? Who's the chick that's in this show? Not Rachel Brosnahan. She's fine. She's going to be an actress. She's Lois Lane. She's taken care of. Who's the other chick who is so amazing in Mrs. Maisel? She's one of Seth MacFarlane's chicks. She's Lois. She's Lois on Family Guy, but also an actress. She used to be on Mad TV. I don't know. Don't know her name. God, she's amazing. She is just so good in Mrs. Maisel as Susie, Mrs. Maisel's manager of 50 years. I don't know her name. Lois Bronstein. Let's call her that. It's something like that, right? It's like old person name, Jewish name. It's something like that, right? Like Edna Farberg. What is her name? What is that chick? There it is, Alex Borstein. All right, here's why I said old name with a Jewish name. Because yes, her name is Alex. But I think in my head, I was thinking her name was Alice. And that's like an old name. So I went old name, Jewish name. But no, it's Alex Borstein. Wow, is she amazing. She's just such a fantastic. But, here's the problem. I think Hollywood doesn't know how to cast somebody with actual talent who doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, who has zero talent. Have you ever seen Sydney Sweeney? She's not great. I have high hopes for her. I think she's charming and delightful, and I like her little personality. I do. I know you're like, Pugs, you're supposed to hate her. She's like a hot chick. She wants nothing to do with your fat, bald ass. She's the kind of girl you've railed against your whole life. No, she's a little different. She seems a little bit more homespun than that, so I do kind of like her cheery demeanor on things. But she's got no talent. Like, she's not. You can't take your eyes off Sydney Sweeney because she's got giant hooters. It's not because, she's throwing down like Jessica Chastain or Emma Stone or anything like that. Or the aforementioned Alex Borstein, who's so fucking good. So good. Anyway, watching Mrs. Maisel, it's not just, also, I want to mention this too before I move on, because this does not get enough credit. Alex Borstein is a reason to watch Mrs. Maisel, okay? As Susie Meyerson, her manager. She's so funny and she's so good. Rachel Brosnahan as Mrs. Maisel is great. She's mid. She's the center of it. It's like fucking watching Seinfeld and having a problem with Jerry, right? You can't. She's fine. She's great. Terrific. And hope Rachel Brosnahan goes off and has a wonderful career. It looks like she's off to a great start as Lois Lane in the Superman movie. So good for her. Also, you want to hear something really funny about Rachel Brosnahan? This is what I love about Rachel Brosnahan. She plays Midge Maisel in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, where she's essentially Joan Rivers. And so what that means is that she is portraying perfectly, by the way, an Upper East Side, New York, Jewish American princess. Very Jewish. Everything, like the lexicon she uses and draws from, is Jewish. The food, the references, it's all Jewish. It's all, you just have to accept this. Mrs. Maisel is a Jewish comedian, just like Joan Rivers was. And her name, the actress's name, is Rachel, which is like right out of the Jewish scriptures. Like, that's like about as Jewish a first name as you can have. Rachel is so Jewish. And then her last name, Brosnahan, that sounds like, that could be Jewish too. Rachel Brosnahan, she's an Irish Catholic girl from the north side of Chicago. And she just pulls off playing a Jewish girl from the Upper East Side of New York so perfectly. Anyway, I wish her all the luck in the world. Alex Borstein is a reason to watch that stupid show. But also, and I would be remiss if I did not talk about these people, Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub plays Abe Weissman. Tony Shalhoub plays Mrs. Maisel's dad. Tony Shalhoub, maybe you remember him from Wings, maybe you know him from Monk, or maybe you just know him from every home run hitting character performance this dude has churned out for 25 years. Tony Shalhoub is legit. And his characterization of Abe Weissman, the father of Mrs. Maisel, who is probably, let's be honest, he was not from this era, probably severely on the spectrum, who is incredibly, let's call him unique and brilliant and just fastidious. And he's so funny. He is so funny. So if you don't like the overall premise of Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because you don't care about female comics from the 1960s, you got to watch for just the performances of Alex Borstein and, of course, Tony Shalhoub. They're just brilliant. Just brilliant. Here you go. Maddie wants to talk about Sydney Sweeney a little bit. She says, I think she's great in Euphoria. I know Pugs has written off that show as kid stuff, but it's actually not, and it's great. I haven't written it off. I haven't written it off as kid stuff. I've written it off as, I like to play the demographic game. I am not in that target demographic. They do not want me watching that show. The show is not targeted to me. So, I lean into that and I'm like, that's a stupid show. They don't want me. It's probably a good show. I'm not so narcissistic that I think that shows that aren't targeted to me somehow inherently lack depth or quality. That's not what I'm saying. I just make fun of it because they ain't trying to like me. They're for women and gay men. That's what Euphoria is. And if you like it, and if you say that she's good in it, I have no leg to stand on because I haven't seen it and I don't know. So I could be wrong, as I could be with a whole lot of shit. April says that Sydney Sweeney did good in The Housemaid. The Housemaid. I don't think I saw that. That sounds stupid to me. Look, here's what I think. I've never heard of a housemaid. Here's what I think the premise is. A bunch of college frat boys live in an absolute dump, so they have to clean it up, so they hire a stripper to come in. Is that what the housemaid is? Because that's what it sounds like. That would be my 3-minute pitch. Something like that. All right. I don't dislike Sydney Sweeney. I've just never seen anything from her performatively, artistically. I've never seen anything from her that makes me go, oh, that's why she's so famous. Other than her tits. That's why she's so famous. Her tits. Hey, and that could change. Look at this. We're like 35 years into this bullshit, and I'm just now starting to realize that maybe Pamela Anderson has some acting chops. Pamela Anderson can act now that we're not, distracted by Pamela Anderson. April says Housemaid hasn't, it's in theaters now. She says Housemaid hasn't been in theaters that long. It's adapted from a book that was popular. But am I right about the premise? Is that kind of the premise? She's a hot chick among younger guys and she's cleaning their house and, you gonna fuck her yet, dude? Like, is there one of those scenes? Okay. All right. I'm wrong. I'm wrong on my pitch. My cynicism towards Hollywood. It says here, Sydney Sweeney is a felon housemaid for Amanda Seyfried. Now, I like Amanda Seyfried. I think she can act. I've seen her pop. Okay, all right. Look, guys, I could be wrong on Sydney Sweeney. I've only seen her be middling in sketches on Saturday Night Live. And I saw her in the first season of White Lotus. And she didn't stand out. She was just, that's that chick they're all talking about, Sydney Sweeney. So I could be wrong. All right, one thing that I am absolutely not wrong about is NFL football. So let's fucking talk about some NFL football. Come on, gather around, guys. We're going to get into it now. I've been good. I've talked about all kinds of other things that are interesting, very disparate groups of people. Today we're going to talk about football because we've got football to talk about. We are in the throes of the NFL playoff season. The tournament is upon us, folks. And Friday, you may have noticed that I didn't do a whole lot of football talk on Friday. By the way, I got a meeting with Rob. I want to do Rob, I know you want to do football talk because Rob and I were texting during the game. Rob's a Chicago guy. He's a South Sider. So, but hold on. So we're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about the playoffs. We're going to talk about where my head is at. Why? Because I couldn't do it on Friday. You may have noticed on Friday that, it's just kind of like, okay, there's a football game. And I didn't want to talk about the Bears and Packers, and I didn't want to talk about, any of that shit. I'm not frozen. I'm not frozen. You're like, is he frozen? I'm not frozen. I'm still fucking speechless. I'm just absolutely speechless. So on Friday, the reason I didn't talk about the Bears-Packers playoff game, and everybody who knows me, and maybe even on the air, I maybe talked about it. I don't know. But I did not want to play the Green Bay Packers. As a Chicago Bears fan, as somebody who absolutely despises the Green Bay Packers, I did not want to play the Green Bay Packers for a third time. Not for a third time in a month. That's for sure. Now, look, that doesn't mean that I don't believe in my team. It doesn't mean that I don't love my team. It doesn't mean that I don't think that they have improved to the point where they can beat the Green Bay Packers anytime they want. No. What it is it's called scarring. It's just being somebody who has been scarred so deeply, so consistently over the years by the Green Bay Packers, beginning with Brett Favre in the early 1990s and carrying all the way through to just a couple of years ago with Jordan Love. That team has had, and by the way, the quarterback I didn't mention is probably the best regular season quarterback in the history of the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. The fucking Green Bay Packers hurt my soul, okay? They have damaged my soul. I respect them, Okay, is that what you want me to hear? To say I fucking respect them. And this has been such a fun, magical season. And I think even the most objective fan of the Chicago Bears can look at what this season has been and gone, we had some things bounce our way. We had some things, we were lucky. We were all, not all luck. It's not all luck. But, some things do have to bounce your way in order to have what is considered a magical season. And the Chicago Bears, who have been absolutely terrible for the last few years, seemingly have turned it around in 1 year. And, we're cautious because our hearts are with this team. So we're cautious about how hard we go. And we're still a little cynical and skeptical because we've been here before. But most notably, when it concerns the Green Bay Packers, I think the majority of real Chicago Bear fans, if they're being honest, were probably like me. Didn't want to see him for a third time. You don't want to see a team that you know inside and out, that they know you inside and out. You don't want to see him 3 times. But we drew the Green Bay Packers, so I couldn't even talk about it on Friday. Couldn't even talk about it. I was so nervous, so sick to my stomach. Why? Because this has been a lot of fun for Chicago Bear fans. Starting around week 4, when we blocked that game-winning field goal by the Raiders, that's when a lot of us Bear fans started going, oh my God, this culture has changed. This head coach is working. This head coach and this quarterback, they seem to be getting along really well. Everything that we crossed our fingers and prayed for seems to be working out for us, but we're Chicagoans. We're second cityists by nature, so we're a little bit standoffish in embracing these things, even when it becomes clear to everybody else that we should. And then we draw the Packers, so we're like, what the fuck? It was our Super Bowl. Saturday night was the Chicago Bear fan Super Bowl. And why do I say that? Because if we had lost, it would have been so much worse than losing to the Eagles, than having the Rams or the 49ers come into Soldier Field, or even the Carolina Panthers. If somehow we had drawn that and we have to play the Carolina Panthers and we lose to them, so what? We could have survived that. We'd have been like, you know what? Hell, man, let's go next year. Draft nothing but defense. We're going undefeated and winning the Super Bowl next year. That's where our head was at. And that's where our head would have been at if, say, the Philadelphia Eagles came into town and beat us on Saturday night. But that ain't how it would have been with the Packers. If the Packers had come in here on Saturday night and ended our dream season and just completely shit on us, we would have been devastated. We would have all been this next week getting over it because we're Chicagoans and we can handle that shit. But I'm telling you, for the next week, we would have been just emotionally crushed and we probably wouldn't be watching any fucking football. We certainly wouldn't be watching the Green Bay Packers. So when I say that Saturday night was the Chicago Bear football fan Super Bowl, it was. It really was. And if you watch that game, you know the first half didn't go too well. We were not looking great. Jordan Love was looking like the latest extension to Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and it's going to go on forever with these fucking Packers. They shouldn't even have a team. It's Green Bay. There's like 20,000 people in that town, and they have an NFL team. They don't even have an ownership group. They got taxpayers pay for that fucking team. But the thing that we Bear fans have known all season is that, and I have to say, we got Jeff Ballard in the chat room. Jeff, one of our regular chatters, he hangs out with us. Jeff's in Iowa. Jeff's a Bear fan. He's from Iowa. Iowa people are Bear fans. It's just how it worked out. A lot of Iowa people are Cub fans as well. I think Jeff is. But most Iowa people are Cub fans, or Bear fans, I should say. And Jeff and I were texting back and forth or whatever through Twitter back and forth. He's like, oh, we're so excited. He's got the kids. They're watching the game. They're going to have a blast and blah, blah, blah. And then at halftime, Jeff sent me a note. I'll read you the note that Jeff sent me. Remember, I think it was 21-3 or something at halftime, 24-3, something terrible. Anyway, Jeff sent me a note at halftime that basically said, this is terrible. I can't watch anymore. Me and the kid are bailing. Enjoy the rest of the game. And I didn't respond to it. Normally, I would respond. And I had a whole bunch of friends from all around the country who were texting me. And I didn't respond to any of them. They were all saying the same thing at halftime. Oh, it was a fun ride. You guys will be good. You got to fix that defense. Shit like that. I didn't tweet nothing. I didn't say nothing. Because for some fucked up reason, all of Chicago Bear fandom was like, yeah, we're not scared. We're not worried. We're not. What are we down? 18? We've done that before. This is a new thing. This is a new thing for us. We are the team that loses on the Hail Mary to the Washington Commanders. We are the team that forgets how many timeouts we have during a nationwide Thanksgiving Day game. We're not supposed to be the team that doesn't worry about being down 18 points going into the third quarter. And for some reason, we're like, Ben and Caleb got this. And they fucking did. They did it again. They did it again. Oh, it's a fluke. You guys are a fluke is when something happens once. Luck is when it happens a second time. Something weird is happening when it happens a third time. But when it happens for a seventh time in a nationally televised prime time night game in the playoffs, it's not a fucking fluke. It's Caleb Williams, the goddamn Iceman. I can't explain it any more than anyone else, and it's the question we're all trying to figure out right now in Chicago. Why the fuck does this guy play like a rookie, a talented rookie, because he doesn't play terrible, but why does he play like a rookie in the first two quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, he's goddamn John Elway? That's who he is. Why is this happening? Well, could be any number of things, and it's why we Chicago Bear fans are so happy. He's only in his second year. And he's in his first year with this new offense, which everybody will tell you is probably the most complex offense in all of the NFL. So we're fine. We're fine. He's going to have another offseason in this playbook with all of his guys, and that fucking offense the Chicago Bears have. It's going to dominate offenses in the NFL for years to come. I promise you that. I promise you that. They are so good, this offense. Do you know what the talk is right now? The talk is we're trading Rome Odunze. We don't need the number 7 pick from 2 years ago because we've got so many fucking wide receivers and skill position weapons. We can afford to trade Rome Odunze to the Las Vegas Raiders for Max Crosby. And we're all thinking about it like, well, Rome is real important to us, but I don't even think he's QB1 anymore. Luther Burden is QB1 or wide receiver 1. So it's a good time for us Bear fans. And I didn't go to sleep Saturday night. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't believe it. Whether, the furious text back and forth between me and my son, 16-year-old Bear fan in Plano, Texas. It was amazing. It was one of the greatest football experiences of my life. And I was alive and conscious of the 85 Bears. This was great. This is magic. And let me tell you where our heads are at right now, Chicago Bear fans. There ain't a team in the NFC that we're afraid of. There are not a team in the NFC that the Chicago Bears are afraid of. Why would we be? We are not out of any game. We haven't blown out by anybody. Well, second week, Detroit, they had a big chip on their shoulder. They wanted to force it down Ben's neck. So, yeah, they got 52 hung on them against Detroit. They've been in every fucking game since. Even the ones that they lose, not by multiple scores. They're in it. We're a team in the NFC that scares us. I'm not all that familiar with the AFC, so when I look over there, I see teams like the Broncos. I see teams. You think we're not? Well, we got the Rams coming in, the Los Angeles Rams. Oh, the Rams. Rams are one of those teams. Rams are one of those teams that just a few weeks ago, all the NFL experts were saying the Rams are the Super Bowl contender out of the NFC. I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop McVay and Stafford this year. That's what they were saying about the Rams. You know what they were saying? They said the same thing about the Packers. How'd that go for the Packers when they came against the Bears? They were saying that about the Packers from the time they got Micah Parsons all the way up to the moment he got injured. well, the Packers are the cream of the crop. And we beat the Packers 2 out of 3 times we played them this year. And in that third game that we played them, it came down to the final play, and Caleb got intercepted in the end zone. He made a bad throw. If the throw wasn't bad, if the throw was like all the other throws that he's made, the Bears win that one too. And we've come back 8 times. So don't give me the Packers or that we should be afraid of the Los Angeles Rams, because let me tell you about what the Los Angeles Rams are going to come into. The Los Angeles Rams are going to come into a Chicago Bears team that now it's been codified with a playoff win on national TV. Don't think they can lose. They don't think they can lose. You look at the talent on that defense, and it is fucking awful. But what did that defense do in the second quarter? They forced Jordan Love to punt on his first 4 possessions of the second half. That defense, for some reason, went, hey, I know that we lack talent, but we can't lose. And they started to ball out. We got Jalen Johnson, one of the best corners in the entire NFL. He's out there on one leg. He should not be out there. I don't know why he's playing. Well, he's an egomaniac. That's why he's playing. But he should not be out there. He's out covering people. He's literally on crutches. The Los Angeles Rams and Dome Boy Matthew Stafford, who, by the way, overall has an atrocious record against the Chicago Bears. I know that means nothing. He played for Detroit for a lot of years. Dome Boy Matthew Stafford is going to have to come into Chicago next weekend when it's going to be in the single digits. And Dome Boy Matthew Stafford and the sunny swinging Southern California Los Angeles Rams are going to have to play between the tackles, grind it out, motherfucking North football. And I'm telling you, if you don't think the Chicago Bears can defeat Dome Boy Matthew Stafford on an icy and frozen field next week, you're nuts. You're nuts. Of course the Rams could beat the Bears. The Rams are a very good team, and they've shown it. They've shown it in their last few games that they've played in 2 domes, Arizona and somewhere else really nice. Oh, Carolina. Yeah, they were just in sunny swinging Carolina over the weekend. Come to Chicago, Los Angeles. Come to Chicago next weekend. Bring a coat. It's going to be cold. All right, the rest of the playoffs. Let's see. Let's go through the rest of the playoffs. I got more I want to say about my Bears, but all right, here we are. Let's see. Tonight we got Houston taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Kelly method says that this is going to be a who did I take here? I think a Texan because of the gun, right? A Pittsburgh Steeler is a tough guy, but he's a union guy and he works in front of a blast furnace. But a Texan's on a horse and he's got a gun. Is that okay? Texans, we're going with the Texans tonight. Over the weekend here, let me give you the scores. Where do we have the scores? 49ers are going to play the Seahawks. All right, that's next Saturday. That's the time is to be determined. 49ers over the weekend. Who did the 49ers beat? Seahawks didn't play. 49ers beat the Eagles. 49ers beat the Eagles. That's right. That game was yesterday. So we got 49ers taking on the Seahawks. That'll be Saturday. Then we've got the Bills also on Saturday. This is the AFC. We got the Bills traveling to the Broncos to take on the Broncos. The Bills defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars. That was a good game. That was another good game, man. All these games this weekend were good. Jacksonville. You don't say. I think Jacksonville's going to be around. I kind of liked what I saw from Trevor Lawrence. Okay. Jacksonville. Look at them. Good for them. And again, Trevor Lawrence, man, I hope to God that he turns out to be everything that they said that he would be when he was coming out of college, because they put the pressure on him the way they put the pressure on everybody else. Oh, if you're not great right away, you're a bust. Well, I think he had the advantage of being sent to what could generously be called an NFL outpost there in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence had been drafted by the New York Jets, he'd be on his 3rd team by now. So it's good. It's good that they allowed him to sit down there in Jacksonville and kind of develop, and they didn't give up on him. So there you go. Same can kind of be said for Carolina, but I don't think Carolina with Bryce Young is in as good of a position moving forward as Jacksonville is with Trevor. All right, so the Bills are going to take on the Broncos. The Broncos also, they sat out this week, right? They're the number 1 seed. Are they? What else do we got? We've got the Patriots. The Patriots, I guess they're going to be playing the winner of the Houston and Pittsburgh game that will be in New England. And then, of course, we've got the divisional round next Sunday between the Rams and the Chicago Bears. That time is to be determined. I think that what is the other game that day? The other game on Sunday is either Houston and Pittsburgh versus the Patriots. So why am I looking at this? I'm trying to figure out which game they're going to put on prime time. Which game is going to be the Sunday night game and which game is going to be the 3:30 in the afternoon game. And I think, why it seems there's no scenario that would be better on paper than for whoever is airing this game to make the Los Angeles market and the Chicago market the primetime game. So I don't know. It doesn't say what time, but I would envision that the Rams and the Bears will be playing on Sunday night. The Patriots, and we've picked the Texans. The Patriots and Texans will be playing on Sunday afternoon. 49ers and Seahawks, and the Bills and the Broncos. There you go. I would imagine that the networks will put the Bills and the Broncos in prime time. Why? Because it covers two giant portions of the country. The Bills are on the East Coast and the Broncos are over there in the West. You cover a great deal of interest in between, as opposed to the 49ers and Seahawks, which is really just kind of people in the Western time zone. We don't do anything. The networks do nothing for those people. So I imagine that the 49ers and Seahawks will be the afternoon game, and then the Bills and the Broncos will be the 8 o'clock game. All right. Anything I want to see? Yeah, there are a couple of cleanup things that I want to talk about, but the football game. What is this? Hold on. Oh, that's the wild card weekend and what we can see. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, here. Okay, so a couple of things that have been really bothering me. Those of you who know my Chicago Bear fandom, you know I was a Justin Fields fan. You know that when the choice was, do we keep Justin Fields and trade the number 1 overall pick for a boatload of more picks to surround Justin Fields with, that's where I wanted to go. So I said, no, if I was the general manager of the Chicago Bears right now, I'm not all that blown away by Caleb Williams. I think that sounds like a whole bunch of West Coast hype. I'm going to I love what Justin is developing into. I love what we're getting here. This is an improvement. We're starting to move forward. But the team decided that they were going to trade Justin and they were going to take Caleb Williams and they were going to fire the head coach and they were going to get in. And you know what? I'm not the general manager of the Bears. I'm just a fan. And I go with the way the fucking waves take me. And the waves took me that way. So quarterback is the most important position on my team. And Caleb Williams is my quarterback. And I couldn't be happier. Me and my boy, we still root for Justin wherever he is. Fingers crossed. We hope he lands with a team that's going to give him an offensive head coach instead of playing for another defensive guy who doesn't give a shit about what the quarterback is, because Justin Field needs to be developed. If he gets developed by a guy, if he goes and sits the bench somewhere behind, let's get Justin Fields out there under, on the bench behind Purdy. Let's let him learn from Shanahan. Let's bring Justin back to Chicago and let him sit the bench behind Caleb. He wouldn't do it, and it would be a terrible thing to ask. But man, oh man, would I love to see Justin Fields under the tutelage of Ben Johnson. That'd be great. But a lot of people like to talk shit on Caleb Williams because he is a totally modern young man. And being a totally modern young man means that he does some things that alpha males born in the 1950s don't like. Things like paints his nails. Things like talks about his emotions and his mental health. Talks about, things that irritate people. I want to show you something. So I told you about the Bears game and how they were getting their asses handed to them and nobody seemed to be playing with any fire. And yet somehow, once again, for the 7th time this season, Caleb Williams was able to rally the troops, and not just rally them, but fucking lead them to the promised land. So here's something that's going. I just want to show you the level of bullshit that my quarterback, who is proving to the world that he is not only elite, but yeah, probably also generational. Let's see what he looks like in year 2 of this offense. My quarterback, who is shutting up all the haters. This is still the shit that he has to deal with. Look at this. This was
He's talked to us about his body language sometimes.
Here's what it says. Laughing my fucking ass off. Clown can't keep his composure in the biggest game of his life. There is obviously no accountability for idiots who just drop fucking bad takes on Twitter way too early, because it is obvious to everyone who would watch the game and not just went off half-cocked in a moment when the Bears were down and he was on the sideline beating the fuck out of his players because he's their boss, and that's how football works, you fucking homo. This kid can't keep his composure. This is the kind of nonsense that he's had to deal with. Can't keep his composure. This is a goddamn Patton moment, you motherfucker. And you don't recognize it because you're fucking gay. How's that? You don't know ball. You don't know what you're fucking seeing. Anyway, this is Caleb Williams. Unable, according to this poster, to keep his composure in the biggest game of his life. Well, he did it for the 7th time. The motherfucking Iceman not only kept his composure, but he got everybody around him to get their heads out of their asses and start picking up blocks. That's exactly what happened here.
He's talked to us about his body language, sometimes frustration. I don't know if he's talked to us about his body language.
That is a motherfucking alpha leader quarterback. And if you see anything else, then you're either just looking for shit to say or you don't know ball. Which is it? It would be one thing if there had been endless stories from the locker room leaking out about how players just don't like the way he carries himself. But it's the exact opposite. He's fucking beloved by everybody. So much so that he's able to fucking talk to him like this on the sideline, and they understand the context of what's happening. Why? Because 6 times prior to this moment, this motherfucker chewed their asses off and then led by example. That's what a leader does. And I'm sorry if you don't like him because he paints his nails, but that says way more about you than it does about my fucking quarterback. Can't keep his composure. Let's watch this. Now, this is just the latest, and I'm tired of fucking showing these things, and I'm telling you, if you have an hour and a half to kill tonight, go to YouTube and pull up Caleb Williams highlights from this season, because it is one goddamn highlight reel throw after another. And this was the most recent one. Everybody, how many times is this kid going to throw a pass and then the next day everybody goes, it was the throw of the year? This motherfucker has the top 5 throws of the year. And here was the latest. 4th and 8. Not just the game on the line, the fucking season on the line. It's all over here. 4th and 8.
4th down and 8. Have to get to the Green Bay 49. Williams chased, throws, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. Rome Odunze on a 4th and 8. Keeps it going. 4th down and 8.
One more time.
Have to get to the Green Bay 49. Williams chased, throws, and it's caught at the 30-yard line.
All right, here's what I want to show you that he can do that maybe only Patrick Mahomes can also do. Okay? This.
Williams.
What you're seeing here is something that quarterback experts would tell you is a reason why he will never make it in this league. He is off platform. He is in the air. He is not throwing from his hips or his legs. He's not even on the ground. He's not even using fucking gravity. He is in the air, and he is using nothing but his upper body strength to deliver a fucking dime ball while falling backwards, while running to his left. I mean, this shit is insane. Nobody should be able to make this throw, except maybe Patrick Mahomes 3 years ago.
Chase, throws, and it's caught at the 30.
All right, so go ahead. Want to call that the throw of the year? I don't know. I can show you one in the end zone a couple of weeks ago where he won the game by threading fucking 3 defenders and hitting DJ Moore right in the chest for 6. I can show you that one. You called that one throw of the year too. How many goddamn throws of the year is this guy going to have to make before you people stop disrespecting him? All right. Yeah, I know, Al. Here we go. Al says, just to let you know, TK Carter passed away. So he may be one of the three that you classify as the trilogy. TK was a great comedian. TK Carter died before Bob Weir. And I didn't judge TK Carter to be famous enough to kick off. I'm sorry. I just didn't. I didn't. And we can't retroactively fit him into this death trilogy because that's not organic. It's not real. We're shoehorning, and we don't do that. But yes, TK Carter, was he in DC Cab? He wasn't famous, man. I mean, he was famous to you and me, Al, but I don't know that anybody else. So yeah, TK Carter, the world lost a real player. Let's see what else. I got other things that I want to show you because I got other things that I want to rant about now that I have the weight of looming death hanging over me. I couldn't rant like this because I had convinced myself, I had prepared myself that the Packers were going to win a week before the game. I was preparing myself mentally for us losing the Super Bowl, the personal Chicago Green Bay Super Bowl. I was totally prepared, and then we won, and it was crazy. Let's see here. What is this? Some other things I want to show you. Here's more of Caleb losing his composure and his team obviously not believing in him because this is how he behaves, and this is no way for a quarterback in the NFL to behave. And isn't this just clear from somebody who paints his nails? Here you go.
That first half, right? The game. Panthers Rams gave us a great.
How do they take him seriously with those nails? Look at those nails painted. How can you take him seriously is what one tweeter put out there. How can you expect anyone to take him seriously with painted nails? You ain't been watching, have you? They take him seriously because 7 fucking times.
Big game, and now who would have thought after that first half, right? We'd be right here with, look at that intensity from Caleb Williams. Down 3, 4:18 to go.
Meanwhile, you got Jacob.
Game.
All right, point is this. This MFer is turning out to be absolutely everything that they promised that he was going to be. He ain't a diva. He ain't singular in the locker room. He is the center of the locker room. He is the most popular guy on the team. He is the most popular guy in Chicago right now because he's out in the community doing stuff. The Bears have been around for 103 years. And then all of a sudden, Caleb Williams does this. And now every Bear fan does the bear claw. I mean, look, don't hate us. We've been through hell. We've never had a quarterback. And the quarterback that we got paints his nails and loves his mom. And I know that to you, that makes him a terrible prospect. But this motherfucker can ball out. Built like a tank engine. He's got wheels that have jets attached to him, and his arm is as good as any arm in the history of the NFL. The kid has a fucking cannon. All right. What else do we have? Okay. So yeah, I want to go into this. I want to go into this a little bit because this is the big conversation that everybody's talking about here in Chicago and in Green Bay. Chicago Bears hate the Green Bay Packers. And from the very beginning, Ben Johnson, he understood this. He understood what the fans wanted to hear. So in his introductory press conference, Ben Johnson talked some shit on the Green Bay Packers. And we all went, he gets us. He gets it. Ben Johnson said things like, I'm happy to be back in the NFC North. I was really enjoying beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Oh, we were like, yeah! Then he said something about how he's never had any respect for the Green Bay Packers. Oh, my God! This is our new coach? We fucking love him! And then Matt LaFleur fired back by saying, maybe he'll have a different understanding of things once he's coached or led a team for a few years, right? That's a bit of a shot. There was a photo that was taken last year of Matt Eberflus, head coach of the Chicago Bears, at a Bulls game, seated with Matt LaFleur, head coach of the Green Bay Packers, and they were sitting together and they went to a Bulls game together. And Ben Johnson was asked if he would ever go to a Bulls game with Matt LaFleur. And Ben Johnson's response was, "Who's that?" I mean, this has been going on This has been going on for a year now, right? So, and poor Matt LaFleur, who seems like a nice guy. Matt LaFleur is just like, we can't be professional. We don't even know each other. Why is he just coming so hard at me? Because Ben Johnson understood the assignment. That's why. Ben Johnson understood that he wants to be the new Mike Ditka. He wants to be here for 20 years, and he wants restaurants, and he wants the city to fucking build statues and name streets after him. And the way to do that is to hit the ground running with fuck Green Bay. So at the end of the game, and by the way, it does need to be mentioned, Green Bay was chirping a lot last week. Bears weren't really saying much. I think the Bears were a lot like their fandom. This is our Super Bowl. We need to take this seriously. Green Bay had lost 4 straight games, and they were chirping all week. Oh, we figure it out. We just keep Caleb off platform and blah, blah, blah. All that shit. So when the Bears did finally have this epic comeback and win the game on Saturday night, the coaches, they traditionally like to shake hands in the middle of the field. Well, this is how the post-game handshake went down. Here you see Matt LaFleur. And again, Matt LaFleur is a nice man. Matt LaFleur, the vanquished opponent, the vanquished rival, strutting to the center of the field to shake hands and look eye to eye like a gentleman. Ben Johnson right in the face. Oh, no.
Gordon took care of it. That's a very cursory handshake. No love lost between these.
One more time.
Connor Gordon took care of it. That's a very cursory handshake. No love lost between these. Connor Gordon took care of it. That's
I do like Matt LaFleur's look. All right. He's like, well, Nashon Wright gets in the way, so we can't really see. But look, he walks away. He doesn't even make eye contact.
Gordon.
Moves, and look at how he threw the hand away. Look at how Ben Johnson throws Matt LaFleur's hand away. Watch.
Gordon took care of
just like, get the fuck out of here, man. The fuck out of here, you Packer
Gordon
bitch.
took care of it. That's a very cursory handshake.
I love it. I'm sorry. Now, a lot of people are out there in the sports world talking about sportsmanship, and a lot of people are talking about how, they're just trying to do the gentlemanly thing. Oh, fuck you, man. This is Bears-Packers, okay? This is Michigan-Ohio State. This is a completely different thing, and if you don't get it, and unfortunately Matt LaFleur didn't get it because he thought that there was going to be, I don't know what, a Bulls game with the head coach after this? Fuck that. That ain't how this new Bears regime is rolling. The fucking Packers are the enemy, and we fans couldn't love it anymore. Now, let's move on to the other thing that is making some attention here. The post-game speeches. Ben Johnson, he's an absolute psychopath. He's calm, cool, and collected on the sideline the entire game, shows absolutely zero emotion. And then in the locker room, he explodes like a volcano and, all of that shit. And it's fun. And we love it because he's ours. If he wasn't ours, douchebag, look at this ungentlemanly asshole. I mean, I get it. But I'm also inside this vacuum. I get how this hatred for the Green Bay Packers needs to be authenticated. It needs to be authenticated by the Chicago Bears themselves. And if Ben Johnson can put it out that, the Green Bay Packers fucking suck, that's great. So here's the speech, and this is getting some attention too, because this is minutes after he does that handshake bullshit where he's like, get the fuck out of here. Okay. All right. That's a problem, and it's also a very interesting thing for the Chicago Bears. If you missed it, and I'll play it back for you again, the head coach of the Chicago Bears rises and he goes, fuck the Packers, fuck them. He screams it. Fuck the Packers, fuck them. The head coach of the Chicago Bears, allowing himself to be recorded. He knows it's being recorded. Here's why it's interesting. This is the Chicago Bears. And if you don't know the Chicago Bears, I don't think you get that. You can't swear at the Chicago Bears. Nobody swears. Profanity is not allowed inside Hallis Hall. In fact, go watch the Hard Knocks from just 2 years ago with Matt Eberflus, the Chicago Bears Hard Knocks. Just pull up any fucking random episode and watch it for 10 minutes. You will hear no profanity. And any profanity that you do hear is bleeped out. because that was one of the reasons. That was one of the things about the Chicago Bears. They wanted to have control. They wanted to have control of the profanity, just the profanity. Everything else was fine. But anybody says the F word, the S word, that is not on brand for the Chicago Bears. Now, why is that interesting? Because that was the wish of our 102-year-old NFL matriarch, Virginia. Virginia was the sweet old lady, and she didn't allow any of her boys to use that kind of language, so no coaches swore. Even Mike Ditka. Mike Ditka had to fucking abide by Virginia. It's like the New York Yankees. You couldn't have facial hair. Chicago Bears, you can't swear. Well, Virginia died a few months ago. And apparently they're swearing now, because for a Chicago Bears head coach to openly use the F word while it's being recorded. I mean, everybody else is upset because he used that kind of profanity against the Packers. That's not good sportsmanship. No. Chicago's like, hey, we're swearing now. We're allowed to swear. So, yeah, he does the whole fuck the Packers, which is just so great. Again, so on brand. There is not been a new personality in the city of Chicago who understood the city of Chicago quite this well since Mike Ditka came to town. Mike Ditka played for the Bears for a bunch of years. He got it. He coined the Grabowski image thing. It's maybe something you don't know. Grabowskis, that was like the whole Ditka thing. We're all Grabowskis around here. Ben Johnson gets that. Ben Johnson, it's like he knew he was going to take the job in Chicago, and he looked at Chicago and he took certain things from Phil Jackson, he took certain things from Joe Madden, and then he took a whole bunch from Mike Ditka and Ozzie Guillen, and he has created this just unbelievably effective head coach who just the city loves because of all these disparate aspects. He's intellectual. He's modern. There's the Phil Jackson and the Joe Madden. He's players coach, Joe Madden. But also, he's fucking demands accountability. He's Ditka. He fucking, you're gone if you don't do it the way I'm telling you. And then he's just got the perfect amount of absolute insanity, like Ozzie Guillen had. He's just all of these things. All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I want to show you guys something here. Hold on. All right, here you go. I want to start it from here because I want to show this, because there's been a lot of talk, most notably by people like who's that guy? Shady McCoy, Colin Cowherd. Trying to think of some of the other people who I said this, but there were a lot of people out there a few months back who were talking about how it's clear to everyone that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson are not going to work. They are not working. They don't even seem to like each other. The talk was that Caleb must frustrate Ben so much so that there was actually a story going around over the weekend that one of these sports troll sites put out that suggested that Ben Johnson, the day after they beat the Packers, suggested that Ben Johnson was looking to trade Caleb Williams for the number 1 overall pick so that he could take the Mendoza out of Indiana, because Mendoza would be better for what Ben Johnson. Oh, fuck you. So all of that talk is absolute nonsense. Look, if Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams announced that they were getting married, nobody in Chicago would be like, yeah, no, we have no problem with that. They seem like they are in love. To the people in town who watch it every day, they seem like they are in love. To the outside world, that's not a good story. To the outside world, you got to create drama. Caleb frustrates Ben. Ben doesn't like Caleb. All that stuff, whatever. None of it's true. I want you to watch this. I want you to watch this because one of the other reasons that they said that our quarterback wasn't going to make it in the NFL is because he's overly emotional. Yeah, he's overly emotional. He bottles it all up and then he fucking focuses in on the last 2 minutes of the game. Yeah, we like that he's overly emotional, okay? This is another example of our crybaby quarterback who we're going to ride to multiple Super Bowls, I promise you. Yeah, I got you. Fuck. Shit. I don't know why that happened. It was up and then it went down. And apparently it's been down for a long time. Anyway, yeah, I watched it. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. Caleb getting emotional, talking about, oh, okay, fine.
15 years, they said. It's haven't beaten, Green Bay or whatever since whatever, right?
Talk heavy.
Look at this guy right here. First playoff win. Everything he's done for us as a coach, everything the other coaches.
He's starting to cry. Caleb Williams is getting choked up talking about how much his coach means to him. Hey, Colin motherfucking Cowherd, what do you make of that? They hate each other. It's clear.
Right?
Talk heavy.
Look at this guy right here. First playoff win. Everything he's done for us as a coach, everything the other coaches have done for us. And it started with him, with bringing in everybody and,
Get emotional.
And all of that, right? And for me personally, he's been, get emotional. For me personally, he's been monumental in my life so far.
Yeah.
And, And so, to his first playoff win as a Chicago Bear.
You make sure when you talk to the media, you talk to them how this crowd tonight made a difference. Yes. They made a difference, all right? Man, I'm so proud of you guys. To do what you just did, I said it at halftime, right? This is one that you'll never forget.
Yes, sir.
This is one you'll never forget, all right? Bring it on in. Bring it on in. Good, better, best! Good, better, best! Never let it rest! Never let it rest! You're good, gets better! You're good, gets better! You better get better! You better get better! Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bears!
All I can tell you is that we have been through the ringer. And that's how we got to spend our weekend. Now, I will also tell you this. Don't give a fuck what happens next week. I don't give a fuck. I know that at this point, we won our Super Bowl. We beat the Green Bay Packers. We ended their season. We beat them 2 out of 3 times we played them this year. We've beaten them 3 out of the last 4 times we played them. This is a monumental sea change for a team and a fandom that has been through the absolute ringer for years and years. So we're fine. Whatever happens, the Los Angeles Rams want to come in here and send us home. That's fine. Off season's looking great. We're gonna trade for Max Crosby and we're gonna draft nothing but fucking defense. And we'll see you next year. I don't care. I don't care what happens. So, the Rams come in and beat us. Hell, if we beat the Rams and then we got to travel to Seattle or wherever, I don't care. That's fine. Whatever. Although, wouldn't it be great if San Francisco beats Seattle and then the Bears get all home playoff games? Everybody's got to come. And it's the West Coast that's got to come, and they got to play in the Arctic of Soldier Field, an outdoor stadium in snow against a team that practices in this shit against a quarterback called the Iceman. Fuck. No reason why we can't go to the Super Bowl, and there's no reason why we can't win the Super Bowl. There is no reason to believe at this stage that the Chicago Bears are not poised to make a run if they want. But as a Bears fan, if we go home next week or if we go home the week after that, I'm fine with it. Because we beat Green Bay. Because we sent Green Bay home. That was our Super Bowl. Now, if we actually get to the Super Bowl where it's just a one-game thing and we lose, I'll be devastated by that, because that won't be a metaphorical Super Bowl the way I'm calling the Bears-Green Bay's game a metaphorical. That'll be an actual Super Bowl. And if we lose that will be like losing an actual Super Bowl, and that leaves a scar. Just ask the Buffalo Bill and Minnesota Viking fandoms. Losing Super Bowls leave a scar. All right, I think that's it. I gotta go. I gotta do some things. I gotta eat real quick, and then I gotta call Rob. We got very exciting things going on with me and Rob. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, here's one more thing that I do want to leave you with. And this was probably one of the most enjoyable things of the entire weekend. This is a clip. I want to play this clip. I want to play this clip once again for all the haters out there. There are a lot of things that have been very enjoyable in the aftermath of the Bears-Packers game on Saturday night. One, there's like a 10-minute compilation of Packer fans going absolutely nuts when they lose. And it's so calming to me. It is so, I've watched that 100 times. It's beautiful. It's cinema. It's like the best movie. It's like 10 minutes of different Packer podcasters watching the game live and reacting live to Caleb Williams just dismantling him in the fourth quarter. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful. And I love that. And that's great. But this is something that means even more to me. This is a Green Bay Packer legend. Okay. Green Bay Packer legend saying the quiet part out loud. And this is what I want all the Green Bay Packer fans out there to let sink in. This is one of your legends, and this is his initial response to what he'd seen a mere hour following the conclusion of the game. Here you go. James Jones.
When I look at Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson, this the worst you're going to see them.
I agree with that.
And at their worst, they just came back from 21-3 on Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
This was an impressive win by Caleb Williams.
Yes, it was. Yes,
and the main reason why it was an impressive win is because it did not start out good.
Yep.
You're down 21-3. You got a couple picks. You went for it on fourth down. You didn't convert. Whenever a play needed to be made, when it had to be made in the second half, no matter what play call was called, Caleb Williams made the play. Yep. If it's a scramble, I'm a scramble and make a play. If it's a scramble and throw, I'm a scramble and make a throw. If it's a throw on time, I'm going to make a throw on time. If it's a crazy, spectacular play like we seen him make in college, I'm going to do it on 4th and 10. Every time he needed to make a play, he did what superstar quarterbacks do. And I'm not saying he's on that superstar level, but I'm saying this is the worst we're going to see him and Ben Johnson. Yeah. And if this is the worst we're going to see him and Ben Johnson, the North is in trouble, the NFC is in trouble, and the Bears is on their way up.
Sheesh.
Because that's what Caleb Williams has shown this year. When the games is close, he's going to find a way to win at his worst with Ben Johnson, because you know next year it's only going to get better when he get more comfortable in the offense and Ben Johnson get more comfortable with him.
There you have it. That is a Packer legend saying the quiet part out loud. I thought he said that really well. That resonated with me. This is the worst that we're going to see of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. They make no secret of the fact that they are running a limited playbook that they have basically just carved out the certain things that they know that this offense is comfortable with, and that there is nothing but pages upon pages upon pages upon pages of shit that Ben Johnson wants to do that he just can't do yet. But they'll do it next year. Telling you, to hear a Packer guy say that, this is the worst that we are going to see of these two. That's encouraging. That is beautiful. I love that. I think that's going to be it, guys. I think that's going to be it. I'm going to wrap it up here. Rob, I'll call you in a minute. We're going to wrap it up here, and we'll be back tomorrow. We got a football game tonight. We got the regular show back here tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. We had no executive producer today. Maybe that'll change tomorrow. If somebody wants to help out the show, now would be the time to do that. Drop a little something in either Cash App or the Venmo. Help this show get through the next month. That's what we need help with. Well, there it is. We'll put that right there. All right. Like, follow, subscribe to the show. Tell your friends. Whatever. I don't know. I'm so tired. I need to take a breather. Take a breather, and then I got other things I got to do. No, great show for you, CC. By the way, make a note of it. Follow CC. His new show, CC's Wild Ass Podcast. I'll be a guest. Invite me sometime. Gotta go. That's it. We're done. I just invited myself on somebody's podcast. That's like not cool.